day here in September as the Oregon Ducks the ball first. There's Andre Crenshaw. Beautiful day for football in the Willamette Valley. Big day here. Welcome to all of our viewers around on Comcast Sports Net and also KLSR, Fox TV in Eugene, in Roseburg, Coos Bay, up and down the coast. And welcome to Autzen Stadium. There's Mike Bellotti in his 14th season as Oregon's head coach. He's got a great winning percentage, almost 70% winning percentage over those 14 years, which is the highest in Oregon history. He's done a tremendous job recruiting players. They've competed for national championships, Anthony. We talked about in the pregame show. Twice now in the last 8 years, they've been competing for a national championship in 01 and last year. And last year they just got hurt. 01, they just didn't get the chance.
Exactly. He's done a great job with these football programs.
All right, here we go. Ready to get underway here as Peter Caldwell tees it up for the Aggies. Andre Crenshaw, Walter Thurman deep for Oregon. We've seen some big programs today struggle a lot, and Oregon needs to avoid the letdown we saw at Ohio State and Michigan today. Both teams struggling against lesser opponents. And the kickoff is going to come down deep into the end zone, and they're going to go ahead and bring it on out. Looking for some room across the 20 to the 23-yard line, and that's where they'll start it. That's Walter Thurman on the return. Justin Roper, 7 of 11 last week, 114 yards. He had a touchdown and an interception. That after that interception is when he came out of the game and had to go some tests, Anthony. But what was your impression of Justin Roper in the first game?
He played well. I mean, he did a nice job. I don't think it's hard. I think the question's still out there. He didn't play long enough, but I think he played good enough while he was in there.
Roper throws it on first down. Jason Williams tries to make a move, goes by one, gets the first down, and is out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So a nice start for Roper and Jason Williams. Here's a look at the Oregon lineups today. Jeremiah Johnson, Ed Dixon, talked about him, Jason Williams, Jeffrey Mail, Terrence Scott, a ton of speed on that offense, and we'll see Jameer Holland. Tupua is back in the offense. Holmes, Unger on the offensive line. They'll run the ball here. Here's Johnson on the outside, 50. Johnson trying to cut it back. Johnson with a stiff arm, and he goes down at the 24-yard line. Johnson a little slow to get up, but seems to be fine. He's holding his right. He's holding his wrist. He's holding his right wrist.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. The way he's holding that wrist, that doesn't look good at all.
Uh-oh. That
doesn't look good. No, and this is a nice little run here. Watch the explosion down the sideline, and then right here you'll see him stiff arm, and his arm got caught. It might be a finger as well, too.
So back to action. LeGarrette Blunt is in the game, and we'll have to keep an eye on what they're doing with Jeremiah Johnson on the far side, because that is a huge, huge story in this football game and for the Oregon season if Jeremiah Johnson has a serious injury. He was running off the field like, you know, look what happened to my arm.
Yeah, and sometimes that's a finger. It's like his fingers might be, you know, out of socket. But it's a hand injury, so that's kind of a good thing.
Roper throws it. It's intercepted. Intercepted down at the 7-yard line. Not a good throw by Justin Roper. I think he thought the receiver was going to cut it back off. And Caleb Taylor with an interception, and the Oregon drive stops. And that's the one way that you can keep a Utah State team in the game, is by turning the ball over.
Well, and this is a bad pass by Justin Roper. And again, it might have been a miscommunication by the receiver and the quarterback. So it might not have been the quarterback's fault, because the quarterback's thrown it to a spot. But we'll have to find out with the coaches and what they say on that play.
Sean Setzer, the starting quarterback for the Aggies from Wilson High School in Portland. He's got to use a timeout before they even run a play. They're still trying to figure it out. So we'll take a break here at Autzen Stadium. We'll do our best to find out the status of Jeremiah Johnson. We'll be back to Autzen Stadium right after this.
Whoever said guys don't like shopping hasn't been to the Dodge truck.
Shoulder pads off, and it's a shoulder.
It's a shoulder. Probably popped it out.
He said that I heard him talking to or saw his mouth move to some other players, said, hey, I'm okay. Some sort of shoulder issue. They'll have to look at it. And here come the Aggies on first down. They'll run the ball up the middle for a couple of yards. Robert Turbin on the carry. So shoulder injury for Jeremiah Johnson and an interception on the first drive. I don't know that it could have been any worse.
Yeah.
Here's Setzer's numbers from last week. 10 of 17, 123. He got pulled in the game against the UNLV Running Rebels. Pick up a few more yards. It'll be 3rd and 3 coming up. Here's the lineup for Utah State: Marsh, Bartlett, Barber, Nelson, and Morrison. Nelson and Morrison, pretty good outside guys and have some speed. Johnson, Rogers, Tanamacher, McFadden, and Hope are the offensive linemen. 3rd down, call it 3 for the Aggies. DeAndre Burrell is the quarterback. He tries to run it. He gets close to the line. It's very close to a first down. He had to get just past the 18-yard line, and he's right about at the 18, so this may take a measurement. Ends on the spot. Looks to be a little bit
I think he
short.
got the first down.
Does
I think
he? Okay.
it was close, but they're going to measure.
While they measure it, let's, as they bring the chains out, the lineups for Oregon defensively today. Will Tuikwafu, Rashawn Harris, Cole Linehan, Nick Reed all played exceedingly well against the Huskies a week ago. Spencer Pasinger had 12 tackles in that game. John Bacon, Jerome Boyd. We'll see Matthews quite a bit. Jarris Bird, Chung, TJ Ward, Walter Thurman doing a good job in the secondary, and it looks like they're going to be just a little bit short, an inch short. So 4th and inches on their own 18.
They got to punt.
State.
They got to punt this ball. They have to punt this ball. I mean, that's you can't play with that down here. Get yourself in the hole. Smart job by the coaching staff of knowing that, hey, we'll win another battle. Oregon threw us an interception. They'll throw us more.
Jarris Bird is deep for Oregon here. Caldwell does the punting and the kicking. Nice long punt, but it's returnable for Bird, who takes it to 30. One guy misses, now Bird, another guy misses. Bird still on his feet to the 37-yard line, but a nice punt. And Oregon will take over on the 37 for their 2nd possession of the game. Hey fans, show your True Duck spirit by purchasing the 2008 Live Green Yellow Spirit t-shirt at nearby Duck stores or online at goducks.com. See plenty of those today. There's a lot of them on the far side. Again, the students aren't back in full force yet, Anthony. School doesn't start for a few weeks. Here's Roper, throws it outside. Terrence Scott has the catch. They'll pick up 7 on the play.
You know, watching the secondary of Utah State, they have so much respect for the speed of the receivers that they're playing really far off. So it's kind of, they're not going to give up the deep pass. They want to have Oregon just go down the field on a 14-play drive and hoping they make a mistake like they did last time.
And Garrett Blunt with the ball. Now he cuts it up. Blunt runs over a couple of guys for the first down into Utah State territory at the 47-yard line. And we'll get to see him a lot today with Jeremiah Johnson already out apparently for the game with a shoulder injury. Defensively for Utah State, Darby Golden, Ben Calderwood, Casey Davis, and Nathan Royster up front for the Aggies. Hutton, Glass, and Igbold, and Hurst, Brindley, Taylor, Murphy in the secondary as Oregon quickly to the line of scrimmage outside to Jason Williams for a gain of about 7.
Well, you know, it's tough, Joe, trying to keep up ourselves with this hurry-up offense. I mean, they're just moving the football down the field, creating problems for the Utah State defense to make some adjustments, substitutions.
Well, they have great pace. Here's Blunt again, looking for a block. Blunt with a hole. He gets through one, keeps his feet, has the first down to the 31-yard line. Anthony, let's take a look at today's Northwest Dodge dealers' keys to the game.
Well, I think Oregon needs to use Jay Will, number 4, and Ed Dixon as weapons. They are the weapons. Get the ball in their hands. Also, defense must create turnovers so you can get the offensive ball again. And the special teams must shrink the field. Just like with Jarrisburg, the returns, short yards for the offense to score.
Keys to the game are brought to you by your Northwest Dodge dealers. Blunt on first down for maybe a yard just past the line of scrimmage. Well, things change a little bit, Anthony, don't they, without Jeremiah Johnson? And now you have to spend the next 3.5 hours just worrying about, is he going to be okay?
Well, and, I think in this type of game, they want to rest him and protect him. They got Andre Crenshaw running the ball. Nice tackle there. But, protect him in a game like this. I think it's a shoulder injury. When we looked at it, he fell. He might have knocked his shoulder out. But, he's not a tough. You don't need to play. He doesn't need to be a tough guy right now. Get him healthy for next week's game.
Jeremiah Johnson, as we talked about in the pregame show, has that potential to be such a, to be on the national stage as a running back, and is already off to that start on his first carry, being about 40 yards. Here's Roper on the outside, throws it towards the end zone, and it is into the hands and out of Terrence Scott.
Late hit on the quarterback.
And a flag is down.
Late hit on the quarterback.
Roper took a big hit after he threw it. And Brent Guy is standing on the field looking at his defense like, how could we make that mistake? Roughing the passer on Utah State.
Well, and for Utah State, they cannot make those mental errors. I mean, you got to be smart, toughen up the play against Oregon and beat them head-to-head, but then to beat yourself with the yellow flag, can't be done.
And Terrence Scott is just going to, he's going to be seeing that one in your dreams.
Yeah, right in the hands.
He's going to close his eyes tonight and see that ball coming down. It's going to look like the blimp. Ducks with double tights now. Now they'll run it up the middle. Crenshaw fights his way for a nice gain of about 5.5, 6 yards.
It seems like Andre Crenshaw has gotten lost in the shuffle with Jeremiah Johnson coming back, and you're talking about LeGarrette Blount running the football. But Andre Crenshaw, I like him as a runner. I mean, he's a slasher. Kind of reminds me of a Jeremiah Johnson. Not as big, not as strong, but he can do some damage back there.
2nd down and 4. They'll hand the ball off again. Crenshaw gets hit behind the line. It sets up a 3rd and about 6 coming up. And, when Oregon loses a player like Jeremiah Johnson, they certainly have the depth to cover in games against Utah State. More difficult when you get on the field against USC or Arizona State or Cal. They do have great depth, though, Anthony.
Well, when you're looking at the running backs, Blunt, and then you talk about Remine Austin, who's not in the game, but Andre Crenshaw is in the game. So there's some depth there. And again, also the receivers.
9th play of the drive, inside screen. Jeffrey Mayo has it. He looked like he was headed for the end zone. He gets inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line.
The speed of the Oregon offense, running that spread offense, getting Utah State's defense spread all over the place, trying to make tackles in space. It's a nice job here running the screen. Some nice blocks on the outside by the receivers. And Jeffrey Mayo, I thought he was going into the end zone, and somehow he got caught from behind.
Double tight end set again for Oregon. This looks a little bit traditional, doesn't it? They'll hand it off the middle up over the end zone, but flags are down. And I think it's going to come back. Flags are down.
That might have been on the defense, Joe.
We'll see. We got the officials are running in, waving their hands. Let's see what they come up with, and we'll see whether or not Oregon has to do it over again.
Offside defense. That penalty declined. Touchdown.
Touchdown. Andre Crenshaw from 3 yards out, and Oregon takes the lead here with 9:08 to go in the first quarter.
It's a nice job by Andre Crenshaw. Again, I like the way Andre runs. This is his time right now, Joe, to be in the spotlight and show everybody that he can play as well.
Matt Evenson on for the extra point. This is the first time the Ducks have worn those yellow helmets in the daylight with the sun on them.
Is it bright?
Boy, they look like they're popping right off the uniforms. And the kick is up, and it's good. And Oregon leads it 7-0. Andre Crenshaw, who had a tremendous game against the Huskies last year up in Seattle, now going to get some work today for sure. Oregon leads it by a touchdown.
Hi, I'm Tony Romo. I've agreed to have myself doubled in size so that you never forget that new lemon-flavored Pepsi NFL Kickoff gives you double Pepsi Stuff points.
With double Stuff points, you can earn lots of cool stuff twice as fast, like MP3s, electronics, and even chances to win free trips.
Because double really is better.
also available in diet.
For a limited time, get double stuffed points when you drink lemon-flavored Pepsi NFL Kickoff and earn lots of cool stuff twice as fast.
About 25 years ago, Oregon Governor Atiyeh dedicated this American flag at Guarantee RVs with this plaque.
Touchdown of the day. Take a look at our Carl's Jr. $6 burger scoring drive. 10 plays, 61 yards, 319, which I think is the longest scoring drive in time for Oregon this season.
I like the eye black 29.
Yeah,
on the eye black.
Dotson.
Very nice.
Matt Evenson will kick it off, and he hits it low as a low liner, and it gets picked up by one of the big fellas up front as he puts his head down. Looks like a former fullback as the Aggies will take it at the 31-yard line.
He was thinking it was back Friday night under the lights, high school days.
Jeremy Mitchell on the return. So the Aggies had all kinds of trouble on their first series of the game. They had to call a timeout before they even ran a play. They weren't sure they wanted to be in a quarterback, and now they'll come back out this time with Sean Setzer at quarterback. All these college teams now using the shotgun almost exclusively. And here's Setzer on the roll, looks down the field, throws, and it's caught and close to the sideline, and it is a catch at the 49-yard line and a first down. Very close to being out of bounds. Remember that rule, you can carry guys out of bounds basically now.
Yeah.
See if he got his foot down or not. Boy, it's awful close.
It's close. It's a great catch. You have to give him that. Yeah, he's in. Nice catch. Nice throw and catch right there.
First and 10 for the Aggies at the 49-yard line. Empty backfield for Setzer now. Looking, throwing out over the middle, nobody there, and it's incomplete. Aggies aren't afraid to throw the ball all day long, Anthony. We could be here for a while.
Well, yeah, they will throw the football, but you know, they're looking at the matchups, the tight ends against Oregon's linebackers, and I think that might be a matchup Oregon's going to win because the fast linebackers on that last play, John Bacon was covering the tight end. John Bacon can run.
Very unusual formation here for the Aggies. Two tight ends and almost like two wing backs. They'll run the ball and hit in the backfield, maybe a yard near midfield. And that's going to be it on the carry right there. And Robert Turbin, not much room there, and it'll be 3rd and long for the Aggies.
That's a good thing about this defensive line of Oregon. They can play the run and pass, and they don't need the linebackers blitzing behind them to help stop the run. But the linebackers like to get the pickup stuff and make tackles after the D-line did all the work up front.
3rd, and we'll call it a long 8. Setzer, little blitz coming over the middle, and it was right there, and it was dropped. Boy, those are the tough ones to take when you want to try to stay in a football game because it was a beautiful throw by Setzer.
Missed opportunities. That's what that was. Missed opportunity. Patrick Chung, I believe, was in coverage. The receiver running a crossing route was open. Nice protection from the offensive line of Utah State. Just dropped the football.
Boy, not only was a first down coming, but a few more yards after the catch. So Caldwell will now have to go back and punt it. And Jarris Bird is standing on his 10-yard line, waiting to receive it. Caldwell gets it away. It's very high, but pretty wobbly. And Bird's going to take it on the run at the 16, make it the 17-yard line. And the Ducks will have their 3rd offensive possession starting from there. Hey, Duck fans, make sure to purchase an Ozone membership today and get exclusive content that only Ozone members can view. For more information, visit GoDucks.com, and I want to welcome all of you around the world watching right now on the Ozone. And I know, for a matter of fact, there are several of you in Iraq and Afghanistan watching this game as we speak. It's the middle of the night, but I know you're watching your Ducks, and we want to thank you for your service to your country and also welcome you to Autzen Stadium today, and all of you watching around the world on the Ozone. The announcer 15 years ago couldn't say that.
No.
Things have changed a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah. On that last play, Joe, Terrence Scott's dropped another pass, got to get in that zone.
2nd and 10. Oregon quickly on the ball. They're going to get an offsides call. Crenshaw gets through and loses his balance. Picks up 6 on the play, so Oregon will take the penalty and have a 2nd and 5 here instead of a 3rd and 4.
Look like the linebackers got a little antsy trying to come up to the line of scrimmage and blitz.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Main 2nd down.
Michael Batlin, today's official. Red guys got to feel not good about the penalties so far for Utah State. They've had 3, and they've all been costly. 2nd down, LeGarrette Blount gets a full head of steam. LeGarrette Blount fights his way, and that's what we saw all fall camp. If a guy wants to stand there, he better be ready to take a little punishment.
Yes, he better, and that was one of those hits that everybody's going to talk about in the film room. Way to take it to him, way to take it to the defensive back. I mean, this is the power right here. You see him, watch him lower his shoulder right there. Good form tackle by the defensive back of Utah State, but he took it for the team.
Good job hanging on there. 1st down, here's Blount again looking for a hole. Finds a little something, maybe 3 yards out across the 35.
It's a good thing that Oregon has is kind of the power game with Blount coming into the game. Andre Crenshaw is a faster, kind of a slice type running back. Blount is a power type running back, yet he has a lot of speed to break away from the linebackers.
Ducks already have 114 yards here, 117 now in the quarter. We're only about halfway through. Roper to the outside. Terrence Scott tries to spin out of the tackle. Not able to do it, but gets the 1st down at the 45.
Now he's gotten his groove on. That first catch. Once you get that first catch, you know what it feels like. You'll be catching the rest of the balls that are thrown your way.
Roper looks to be just fine. He threw that interception early, but he's come back from that nicely. Here's Blount again, looking for a hole. Doesn't want to go down and pick up 4 yards on the carry. He's getting a lot of work, Anthony.
Yeah, and watching him run, I really like how he runs when he's running to the sideline and then he gets his shoulders turned and starts running north and south. I mean, that's a sign of a good running back right there. That's technique. You know, he understands the game, understands that you have to go north and south and move the chains. Smart football player.
It's his 7th carry of the football game so far. Roper's got it all alone. Here's Justin Roper. There was nobody out there as Roper takes it inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. They'll mark it about the 36. Boy, they lulled him to sleep with about 6 runs in a row to the tailback, and here comes Roper.
And Roper is reading the defensive end, and if the defensive end will collapse down on the running back, then they'll take the ball out of the running back's hands, and he'll run just like he did.
1st down, Oregon moving the ball almost at will right now. Here's a little blitz play, inside screen. Here's Dixon with his first catch as he tries to get outside. Not able to do it, but he'll pick up 7 yards on the play, and Ed Dixon back into the action now.
It's funny watching the Utah State defenders getting chopped down like trees. One after another getting chopped down, chop block. Ed Dixon couldn't get outside, trying to get that sideline.
Current drive, 7 plays, 52 yards, and spread it around nicely. Scott, Crenshaw, Blount a few times. Dixon, Roper. Nice run by LeGarrette Blount. Just gets tripped up as he goes inside the 25. And he has a 1st down at the 21-yard line.
LeGarrette Blount said last week he wanted the football. He only carried it 4 times. Well, he's getting his wish today.
You can already see the Utah State players with their hands on their hips, Anthony.
Yeah, the D linemen. Look at the D linemen. They are huffing and puffing.
It's just the pace. You don't have any time to recover at all. Here's Crenshaw. Crenshaw tries to step back, does a little bit, gets to the 20-yard line. And just watch how fast Oregon gets back on the ball. You see all the other offensive linemen moving into space. Utah State just doesn't have any time at all to get a wind, get some breath.
Well, and then watching the D line for Utah State, the running plays are sideline to sideline, so the linemen are running from sideline to sideline. They're getting tired. There's no upfield rush for the D line. You know, they're the track meet.
This was actually the longest time between plays that Oregon's had on the entire drive. Now they're ready with the 2nd down and 8. Here's Roper. There's a flag down. Roper looking towards the end zone, and it's caught by Terrence Scott in the corner of the end zone.
That's going to be good. Offsides on the defense again. See, when you start getting tired as a defensive unit, you stop thinking. Start making mistakes, just like getting offsides.
Terrence Scott on a nice throw from Justin Roper. 2 touchdowns now for the Ducks.
That was a bullet. Just beats the corner to the back of the end zone. And that's a great throw right there.
Justin Roper, nice start after the disappointing interception. Matt Evenson now on for the extra point. And his kick after a low snap is up and it is through. And Justin Roper 7 of 9 and a touchdown now to Terrence Scott. Oregon leads it 14-0 over the Aggies with 4:31 to go here in the first quarter.
Nice is bigger than
here against the Aggies with those yellow helmets. The yellow helmets looking for their first win.
Look like bobbleheads. The yellow helmets, I think. I mean, they look big.
Matt Evenson tees it up. He'll kick it into a very stiff wind. It's blowing harder than it was blowing last week as the breeze comes in out of the west here. And then hit the line drive. The wind will hit it up. If it's out of bounds, it's a really bad penalty because the Aggies get to start at the 40-yard line this year. It's a rule change, so it's real damaging to kick it out of bounds. It's a big penalty when you do that. How about Terrence Scott?
Well,
bad start.
Yeah,
Picked it up though.
He started slow. The balls are right in his hands, and here's the play where he started getting confidence. Once you touch the ball one time, you know what it feels like. And here we go, the touchdown. But that's Justin Roper putting it right on the money.
Carl Jr.'s $6 burger scoring drive, 10 plays, 83 yards, 311. And they made it look easy at times, Anthony. I'm not sure that they faced a third down that entire drive. They just really motored their way through it. Very diverse. They had 2 tight ends. They were spread out. All kinds of stuff there. Aggies come out in the I formation, and they'll pick up a couple of yards on first down, but not much is there for Turbin. Lost his helmet.
Well, the defensive line again, Joe, that front 4, and it's just the front 4. Sometimes when you say the front 7, that's the linebackers included. We're not talking about linebackers. Front 4 of Rashawn Harris and Cole Linehan, Will, Nick. These guys are really taking care of the run.
There's Sonny Harris right there. Setzer's going to go in the shotgun here on 2nd down and 8. Lots of time here. They come though, and they take him down at the 33-yard line.
That was the coverage sack right there. So Casey Matthews needs to be thanking his defensive backs because there was nothing down the field. Look how long Sean holds the football. He's holding 1 option, 2 option. The 3rd option is a sack.
Nowhere to go for him. So now 3rd and 17 for Setzer and the Aggies. They have 1 first down in the game to Oregon's 11 already with 3:19 to go in the first quarter. Ducks with a 3-man front here. They'll bring another, and on the screen looking for some room, and they have a little bit to the 42-yard line. And it'll be 4th and 8 from there, and the Aggies likely going to have to punt.
It's a nice job by the defensive backs getting to the receiver after the ball's thrown. That's what I've talked about. They're so fast. The receivers will catch them footballs, but the speed of the DBs getting to the receiver, make sure you get the tackle.
Spencer Pasinger sure had a great game last week.
Yes.
Picking up where he left off. Caldwell will go back to punt it. And Jarris Bird back standing on his 10-yard line. Again, a big wind at his back here. Gets it up in the wind, it'll carry a little bit. Not a good punt. He hit it awkwardly, and it comes down and takes a weird bounce. The Aggies touch it right around the 28-yard line, and Oregon will have their possession from there. They've had 3 possessions. They've scored 2 touchdowns. The other one was only held up by an interception deep in the Aggie territory. Hey, fans, make sure to ensure the future success of Oregon athletics by donating to the Duck Athletic Fund, which provides scholarships to deserving student athletes. For more information, call the DAF office at 346-5433. that crowd here at Autzen today. Just packed in again. 14-0.
A little confusion here.
Ducks are going to have to use a timeout, I think. They couldn't get it straight.
That's their first charge timeout.
And I can just tell you the coaches next to us are not happy about it.
All of us in the booth are looking around with big eyes going, who is yelling and screaming? Well, when coaches understand that the wrong personnel is on the field and they're up in the booth looking at this stuff, they get very frustrated. And they can't yell from up here because no one can hear them. But they're yelling anyway.
Hey, fans, time now for the the Dairy Mart ticket giveaway. November 15th against Arizona is the ticket giveaway. And you can win tickets, hospitality, passes, and duck gear by signing up at your local Dairy Mart today. So head down to our friends at Dairy Mart. Now the Ducks have the right personnel on the field as they take over here on 1st and 10. Roper still the quarterback. That's Aaron Pflugrad in motion. They'll give it to Crenshaw. A little cross buck back, and Crenshaw with a nice run for 9 yards.
Joe, I really like Andre Crenshaw. And again, I think he's gotten lost in the shuffle during, training camp in the first game because of Garrett Blunt and Jeremiah Johnson. But look at the slash. This is a slasher. This is like Gil Sayers right here. I mean, not like Gil Sayers, but kind of like Gil Sayers.
Here's Crenshaw again. Tries to sidestep one guy, but not able to do it. So 3rd and 2. They go from 2nd and 1 to 3rd and 2.
And the one weak spot with Andre Crenshaw is that he has to get stronger. He has to break that single tackle. Can't let one guy bring you down. But he'll get that with Jimmy Ratcliffe, the strength coach.
So 3rd down and 2 here. Oregon's not had to punt the football yet today. LeGarrette Blunt takes it, tries to sidestep, gets by one guy, and picks up the 1st down all by himself. He broke 4 tackles for a 4-yard run.
Now that's a man right there. Now he's strong right there. I mean, he's gonna break those tackles, and that's what's so good about him. Not one guy can get him down by themselves. He's gonna break the 1st tackle, break the 2nd tackle, break the 3rd tackle.
4.
That's extra yardage right there after contact.
1st and 10. Here he comes again on this side, and Aggies do a good job stringing that one out. Maybe a yard on the play.
It's a nice job by the defense getting to the sideline, even though they were at the short side of the field. And that was the defensive lineman getting to the sideline and helping out, stopping that running play.
Under a minute to go here in the 1st quarter. He's already got 10 carries in the 1st quarter alone at 49 yards. Here's Roper on 2nd and 9. Little blitz coming. Here's a little screen. They got the right play against the blitz, and Dixon is very close to a 1st down, but maybe a little bit short. Maybe a yard short, Anthony.
It's something special when you can put your tight end out there as a receiver and throw some screens to him in space.
3rd and a yard.
Very athletic tight end, Joe.
Ducks have been going to that tailback over and over and over again. I wouldn't be surprised to see Roper carry this one. There's the fake. They give it to Blunt as he's got a full head of steam across the 40. Blunt looks really good right now. He actually looks like he's picking up steam.
Well, he looks good, but we also need to talk about the offensive line. The offensive line are creating some holes. Now watch the hole to the right side of your screen. Right there. I mean, that's a great hole for the running back to run through, and then Blunt's breaking tackles to get extra yards.
And that'll be the final play of the 1st quarter as the time in the 1st quarter runs out, and Oregon leads it 14-0, and they're driving again here in front of a sold-out Autzen Stadium crowd for the 57th straight time. We're back to Eugene after this. Quarter, and the Aggies have not stopped Oregon yet, Anthony. They haven't done anything to stop him. There's Jeremiah Johnson. That's the only thing that's been stopped, and it's a shoulder situation.
It is, and I don't think it's that bad, because otherwise he would be sitting out there. There was some ice on it. He's walking around. I know he's upset he's not playing, but he's thinking about the future here.
Here's Blunt. Throws one guy off and puts his head down and picks up a couple of yards. The thing about Jeremiah Johnson, Anthony, is, just to finish up that conversation about him, with a shoulder, you never really know, you know, gosh, is a dislocated shoulder, you know, is it some cartilage damage in the shoulder, or, you know, muscle tear? Is it, you know, what is it really?
Well, a lot of times they say as a running back, if your legs are not hurting, then you're going to play. If your upper body hurts, we'll get that healed and get you fixed up, ready to play.
Blunt breaks through at the 20, has a chance. LeGarrette Blunt into the end zone for the touchdown for LeGarrette Blunt, his first touchdown as an Oregon Duck.
Now, I said Blunt had enough speed to run away from the linebackers. Well, he also has enough speed to run away from the defensive backs. That's a big man running down the field. And look at the hole again, but watch the cutback. The cutback ability of a guy that's 6'3", 240 pounds, and then get to the edge, run down the sideline, down the hash, and score a touchdown.
I get the feeling that Matt Evenson may be the most tired player at the end of the day.
Good leg workout.
A lot of leg work today. Here's the extra point. It's up and it's good. His third extra point of the game. And Oregon leads it 21-0, scoring on beautiful run by LeGarrette Blunt. Boy, it makes you just feel like when both of those guys are healthy, well, all three of them with Crenshaw, they really have something special back there.
Well, I think that Blunt, he wanted the football, and the coaches wanted to give him the football to see what he can do. You know, give him the ball 20 times a game. He's going to get that. And then I think it's a nice thing to get Andre Crenshaw in the game because he can do some damage. And it's just, it's sad for Jeremiah Johnson because he wants to play, but he'll be back in there.
Here's the Carl's Jr. $6 burger scoring drive. 8 plays, 72 yards. 252 on that drive to take the 21-0 lead. Just the stats really starting to pile up here too. Utah State has 6 carries for 5 yards. Oregon has 22 carries for 167. They already have 250 yards of total offense in 1 quarter of football. I mean, play it out, that's 1,000. I'm not a math major, but that's pretty easy math, right? 4 quarters make $1.
Well, I like how you figured that out. But, you know, Utah State right now, they have to find a way to stop this avalanche. I mean, they don't want it to get ugly. But the question is, can they find a way to stop the avalanche?
Evenson with the wind behind him now. He still sends a line drive, and he's going to squirt around a little bit in the backfield, and now they'll pick it up. And then a big hit that didn't go down. A flag is down on the play as well.
That was Kenny Rowe, the defensive end with the big hit.
That's flying all over the place down there.
You got a defensive lineman playing on the kickoff team. That tells you how athletic he is. Number 58, Kenny Rowe.
There is no foul on the play. The play was legal by rule.
Got talked out of it. LeGarrette Blunt, 13 carries, 99 yards. 7.6 average and a touchdown. So we're just, you know, shoot, there's 14-18 to go here in the second quarter. And the stat book already looks like a gain for the Oregon offense. Utah State makes a change at quarterback now. DeAndre Burrell is the quarterback. He'll come in, he'll try to lift one up and throw it. A nice catch is made on the outside by Otis Nelson in the first down, the second of the day. There's a flag down, though. There's a flag down back at the 19-yard line.
Roughing the passer, number 49 on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the catch. Automatic first down.
Plus another 15, Nick Reed.
Well, the defense here can't fall asleep. I mean, you know, they have to play smart football. Nick Reed, his motor is always going. That time he had to slow the motor down just a little bit on the quarterback.
First penalty of the day for Oregon. And it moves the ball into Oregon territory at the 42-yard line. Burrell on a little half rollout, looking down the field, going to go for the home run ball, and he just overthrows it. A couple of ducks back there.
Well, Burrell is the type of guy that he will throw the football, but he will also take off, kind of like a Jake Locker last week against Washington. He has some speed. He led the team last week in rushing attempts. So he will run with the football, but I think he wants to test his arm today and throw it deep, try to get a quick score.
Speaking of the Huskies, they're tied at 7 with BYU into the second quarter up in Seattle. Second and 10, crowd wants a shutout. You can hear it. They're making a lot of noise right now. Burrell keeps the ball on a little rollout, gets on the outside, delivers the ball complete for a gain of 5 yards out there. The receiver, Doug Barber, on the catch. He'll pick up about 7 on the play.
That was a nice little boot play, boot action with Burrell. And I like the way Burrell plays because he can do some things with his footwork, and he throws a nice little ball as well.
Boyd made the stop for Oregon on the play. Aggies with 2 first downs, Oregon with 14. They're 0 for 3 on third. Crowd's making a lot of noise here on 3rd and 4. Burrell scrambles out, has some room, wants to run it. Trying to get to the corner, gets some great blocks, and gets the first down at the 29.
Burrell runs out of bounds.
So that time, the Oregon defensive ends lost contain. And when you lose contain on a quarterback that can run, it can hurt you. Right here, he gets to the edge of the defense. He's still looking downfield, which is a nice job by a quarterback. He's not running to run the football. He's still looking down the field with his head so that he keeps the secondary back in coverage.
You made a really good point, Anthony, last week that I thought a lot about when you talked about how a quarterback can pump fake a lineman or a linebacker out of pursuing him, and you run through that because you're not going to intercept the ball if he throws 2 yards from you.
Not at all.
So don't even pay attention to the fake. Nice run up the middle here. And Utah State has another first down.
That was a nice job by the offensive line of Utah State creating a hole for the running backs. And you know, the running backs, there's not a whole lot of holes for the running backs, but when there are when there is a little daylight, they're getting through there.
Robert Turbin on the carry. The Aggies are moving.
Turbin's not a real big guy, but he's a real quick, swiftly little guy. That's hard to see behind the offensive lineman.
Amazing how this crowd reacts. They do not want to see any points go up on the board. A lot of noise again here on 1st and 10 inside the 20, inside the red zone now. Turbin. He works his way for about close to 3 yards to the 15-yard line.
That was a nice job again by Turbin. 2 good runs by Turbin that created some issues for the defensive set front 7, including D-line and linebackers, getting some yards.
Well, what a beautiful day here at Austin. This is one of those days when you go back to work on Monday, you know who sat on the north side or who sat on the south side. Everybody who sat on the north side is completely red. Everybody who's on the south, they're nice and cool in the shade all day. 2nd and 7. Turbin goes in motion to the outside. Burrell is leading a nice drive now. Looking to throw, throws it over to the corner. Caught into the end zone. Touchdown, Utah State. Curtis Marsh in the corner, and the Aggies are on the board.
Curtis Marsh he's a running back, catching the ball out of the backfield. He might have been lined up as a receiver, but it looked like also was some confusion, and looked like Walter Thurman got knocked off. He tried to come up and jam him, and you see him falling on the ground trying to come back and make a play.
Marsh was so surprised there was nobody at the end zone, he dove anyway. Extra point is up and good, and the Aggies are on the board. They've cut the lead to 21-7 with 11:18 to go here in the 2nd quarter.
What do you think I should pay for my deductible? Do you think like $250, $500?
On a spectacular day here, the Aggies with a great drive. Literally their best of the day, and sparked by a new quarterback as Burrell came in the Carl's Jr. $6 burger scoring drive. 5 plays, 75 yards, 308 for the Aggies, and the 15-yard touchdown. So we kick off now into the wind. It's going to be taken back at the 5-yard line, and here comes a full head of steam from Walter Thurman. He gets hit from behind and goes down at the 27-yard line.
Now it'll be interesting to see if Justin Roper still comes back out and plays this series, or they go to he's back out there again. That's good. He needs the experience. He needs the playing time.
First down, production on 27.
Really impressed with that last offensive drive for Utah State, Anthony. They just came out. They were down 21-0, ready to get buried, and they had a nice response drive there.
That was. It all started with Nick Reed, that roughing the passer, and Utah State just kept going after that.
Roper looking downfield, throws it out there for Scott, but it's too far outside. A little different here now because the wind is really coming out of the west, so things are going to be a little bit different going with the wind than into the wind, especially on a long throw like that.
Well, that wind took that ball, and it sailed it right to the sideline. He threw it up there, it got a little hang time, and gets caught up in that wind. It's going to go.
Roper keeps it, has some room, looks to throw it outside, and that little fake is what gave him the extra room for the first down.
You know, Roper's 6'6", and people don't think he can run that fast, but you know what? He can fly. It doesn't look like he's flying, but those long legs are gaining ground, picking up yards, and I mean, and watch his legs. I mean, just covering 2 yards per stride.
Out of Buford, Georgia. His father was a college football coach. Coach's son knows the game real well. Very confident young man, very nice and polite. Throws it hard over the middle, and it's caught by Jeffrey Mayo, who tries to bounce off and can't quite get away, but makes a nice catch to the 34-yard line.
You know, Jeffrey Mayo, to me, he's one of the better plays on this football program because he played defense. He was a safety. And for him to come over here and play offense, and he will catch anything. He's a tough kid. He's an athletic kid. Had to learn the offense very quickly. He's doing a great job at receiver.
And Anthony, that throw tells me a lot about Justin Roper. He runs for 12 yards, comes back and throws a beautiful ball over the middle, a perfect ball. You know, people are wondering, I mean, the kid can play, and he gets this one to Dixon towards the end zone, and they knock it down at the half-inch line.
That was inches away from Dixon rolling into the end zone. I mean, he was stumbling, rumbling. He almost had it. He wanted that. Justin Roper wanted that. But you're splitting the safeties with receivers. You go one side to Jeffrey Mayo, then you go to Ed Dixon.
They're going to review the previous play to see if he scored or not. What a throw by Roper, 2 in a row over the middle. He throws that middle ball beautifully, doesn't he?
Well, he's giving the Utah State defense is giving up the seam. There's no one running down with the receivers down the seam, so why not take him?
Mike Lottie with a congratulatory handshake for him. 10 of 14, I believe. 10 of 13 on the day, 144 yards for Roper, and he just looks really good. He had the one interception, but I'm not so sure that was his fault earlier, Anthony.
Well, we don't know that. And see, that's the thing. People see the interceptions, and sometimes it's not the quarterback's fault. It may be the receiver, because looked like Roper was throwing it to a spot.
All right, let's see what they're looking at here. They're seeing whether or not Dixon got across the end zone. And he goes down right there. It's a good call by the officials.
Yeah, good call.
But pretty darn close.
Now, you got the little DBs trying to tackle Dixon. Oh, he was close. He was close.
Ducks are on the ball. They're ready to get right at it, but the officials aren't even back in place yet.
Now, everybody in the stadium thinking LeGarrette Blount's getting the ball.
Do all kinds of things here. LeGarrette Blount in the backfield. He'll take it, and he is stacked up at the goal line. No arms have come up yet. I think he's laying across the goal line, but nobody has raised their arms yet. Now they do. Touchdown for LeGarrette Blount, his second touchdown of the day.
And that was power, because he just moved the pile. He was hit before the line of scrimmage, and he just moved the pile. He's a strong young man. Oh, he's strong.
There's quite a delay on the call.
Well, they couldn't see him.
Your job, Anthony, by the end of the day is to figure out, count how many times Matt Evenson actually kicked the ball today. This is his 4th extra point. He's already kicked off a bunch as well. And the extra point is up, and it is good. And Oregon leads it 28-7 with 9:54 to go here in the first quarter on a perfect day at Autzen Stadium. We're back with more after this.
Two clients of
house here at Autzen. What a privilege it is to sit up here and have this spectacular view of 60,000 people and 22 football players running around way down there as the kickoff goes deep into the end zone. Well, that wind really carries it through, and the Aggies will start at the 20. Again, just a beautiful day. The fans, I can't tell you what a great job the fans did last week against the Huskies, and they all came back for Utah State.
Yeah.
Everybody's here.
Yeah, and that's Duck support right there. And you know what? It's a football game, though. People want to come and watch a football game, and what would you be doing if you're not here? Cutting the grass?
I guess so. It's just, I guess that's, you know, as we look at the Carl Jr. $6 burger scoring drive, it's just, this has become such a part of what Eugene is.
Yeah.
And so many things get in the papers and all that business, but this is Eugene too.
Right.
This is 60,000 people. This isn't 12 or 15. This is 60,000 people collectively from all walks of life, from all religions, from all political affiliations, coming together in Eugene and having this great explosion of color and celebration of the university and what the university stands for, and for this athletic program and for the football team specifically. It's just a tremendous honor to be able to sit up here with you, Anthony, and take everybody through this. And the Aggies have used a sideline interference penalty. They're going to lose 5 yards on that, I believe, is what the call is.
Yeah, so that's the new rule, that they don't warn you anymore. It is, hey, you got in the way. Okay, I can't do my job. Get out the way.
Yeah, the official had to correct himself.
They still have 2 timeouts remaining.
He was about to go the other way.
Talking about all the support in town. Of course, we saw this great community spirit during the Olympic trials. We'll show you some of that here in a minute. What a great summer that was. The crew actually that is in the truck downstairs right now, Anthony, and up here in the booth with us, they're the same guys and gals that produced the replay board at the Olympic trials for 8 straight days. So we had a great time doing that. Burrell running does a nice job to get across the 20 to the 23-yard line.
That was a nice play by Burrell again. He's back there looking to run the football as a quarterback. Spread the offense out, spread the defense out, drop back kind of like Chris Harper and just run the ball.
Illegal formation on the offense. They'll take it back. And coming up on our halftime report here in about 9:39, brought to you by AT&T, we'll show you some of those moments from the Olympic trials. It's fun to watch those guys in Beijing and now transition into football. There's so much happening here too. We sit up here, Anthony, and see this great crowd and the Autzen fans and the cheerleaders and the band and the team and the baseball park being built just beyond the scoreboard here to our right, on the right side, and all the cars parked out there. What a beautiful perspective it is.
Can't wait to see that finish.
Burrell going to scramble away. He's fast. Gets away and scrambles ahead across the 15, picks up about 6 yards to the 17-yard line.
Burrell can create some problems for this defense. They may have to look at the defense and say, hey, let's find a guy to spy on this guy because he wants to run very quickly.
He's clearly more dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Than Sean. I mean, there's a threat because, again, he will take the ball and take off, you know, without any hesitation.
3rd down and 13. Some movement on the offensive line. And this will go back 5 more yards.
Pride of the snap. Starts. 68 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Here's what Utah State has to stop beating themselves. I mean, they're not giving themselves a chance.
They haven't been able to do much, Anthony, on any drive except the one drive. They had the one drive where they really moved it. You can see 3 punts, then the touchdown. Now this drive here was 3rd and 18. The Duck defense moving all over the place, trying to confuse them. They'll just rush 3. Burrell looking downfield. He shuffles it ahead. Turbin makes the catch, and he gets back just past the original line of scrimmage to the 21. And the Aggies will punt into the wind now. Caldwell having to punt into the wind with 7:57 to go here in the first half.
No, Joe, that was another coverage sack by the secondary downfield. Burrell didn't have anywhere to throw that football, so he kind of a little shuttle pass. Safe pass.
No snap, picks it up and into the wind. Well, look at the wind hold the ball up. It's going to come down way short and bounce back into Utah State territory at the 49-yard line. So Oregon will start with the ball either right at the line or on the Utah State half. And we'll be back to Autzen. Ducks with the ball with 7:28 to go here in the first half. If you're just joining us, he hurt his shoulder on his first carry of the day, a 37-yard run. His right shoulder, which we'll have to wait to see what the severity of that. It's coming up at halftime on our AT&T halftime report. We'll hear from Oregon head coach Mike Bellotti. I want to thank all of the great volunteers, Eugene 08. We'll do that all at halftime. Here's Terrence Scott on the reverse. Terrence Scott, one man to beat. Terrence Scott to the 20, to the 10, 5, touchdown! Terrence Scott into the end zone. Wow, can number 8 run?
That number 8 can fly. I mean, he can fly. Where has he been, Joe? I mean, this kid can play some football. When you watch him run an open field, it's a great sight.
How about that drive? One play, 50 yards.
Review.
They're going to review if he stepped out of bounds, I guess, is the review.
But I tell you, running downfield, knowing how to run downfield, using the space that he had. I mean, that's so important as a fast receiver. I mean, he didn't run straight to the sideline and then, you know, cornered himself in the end zone to the sideline. He was using the field. Right here, we'll see if he went out of bounds. Oh, he might have stepped out of bounds right there. No.
Boy, I think he's
back on the 5-yard line.
I think he's in.
Yeah.
Kick the pylon. I mean, that's not looking straight down the line.
There was a spot, I think maybe on the 5-yard line they were looking at. Maybe, I'm not sure.
I certainly didn't see anything conclusive.
Oh, it's good.
After review, going on the field, touchdown.
Hands like that. Heck of a run by Terrence Scott. Sometimes he looks like he's just toying with the defenders too. Like, oh, I'm jogging. You're sprinting as fast as you can. I'm just jogging. That's the way he looks sometimes.
Very quick strike, and that's how you put points on the board very quickly. Get your offense a little bit more rest. Now the defense is a little sad because they have to come back out again.
10 seconds on that drive. That may go down as the all-time shortest drive. We'll have to see what the shortest drive in Oregon football history is. That was 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
I guess there might have been like a fumble, then touchdown closer to the end zone in the past that might have happened, but 10 seconds is pretty good. I know one thing, you can't eat a Carl's Jr. $6 burger in 10 seconds. So I don't know if you can use it for the scoring drive. 35-7. Let's take a listen now to our AT&T sounds of the game. Sounds of the game are brought to you by our friends at AT&T. How about Oregon's drive chart? We saw Utah State's drive chart a little earlier. Let's look at what Oregon has done from a drive perspective. That's pretty good.
That's not bad. We talked about Justin Roper facing adversity during ball games, trying to adjust, knowing that there's more plays. The first series he throws an interception, and then he comes back and throws some touchdowns.
5 touchdowns on the last 5 possessions. The first one was headed there too, although either Roper threw an interception or a receiver just got confused and didn't cut off a route or something. We'll I'm sure hear about that. But it seems very insignificant now that Oregon's starting to pull away from the Aggies. Evenson's kickoff carries deep into the end zone, and they'll down it there, taking it to 20.
Well, Roper's getting better with age. Getting more and more series during the game, getting more confidence in himself.
Wonder now if it's a time when if Oregon gets the ball back, you know, if you start to see Harper, Masoli, some of the other guys. But Roper's looked really sharp, I think.
Well, and it's still early. I mean, it's still, you know, mid-second quarter, so there's some time left in this ball game. It's see what this Utah State offense can come back and try to punch back after that quick score.
Ducks have 376 yards of total offense in the first half so far. So we'll have to go into the media guides and check out the records for total offense records, because this is one of those days they might get there. Burrell breaks it down. Now he's going to try to run. And the Ducks are starting to do a better job containing it, making sure it doesn't get outside.
Well, with me, when you look at this Oregon defense, you want Burrell to throw the football. So you're going to have to kind of slow your pass rush up a little bit. Really eyeball this guy. Make him throw the ball. Because you know he can run the ball, but make him throw it.
He's thrown a few good balls, too. A lot of these, too, Anthony, just coverage situation. He's not seeing anything there, and so he's trying not to make a bad play and pulling it down and trying to run the ball. Second and 9. The screen pass set up nicely by the Aggies. And they'll have a first down, a little bit more to the 32-yard line. Curtis Marsh on the catch. He's the one who had the touchdown earlier. Nice play.
That was a nice play, and it was kind of a misdirection play, and that's what you have to do against fast football teams. A lot of misdirections here, and you got one guy motioning one way, and then Curtis Marsh, he's the running back, gets a little screen pass, picks up the first down.
First and 10 for the Aggies here. Definitely moving the ball better with Burrell at quarterback. And now he's back to throw again. Looking, he's going to try one over the top and not there. Good coverage out there. On the far side, Jarris Bird.
That was nice coverage by Jarris Bird, and that's textbook. Stay with the receiver. No need to touch him. No need to panic. As he turns his head, you turn your head and look for the football. It's a nice job. That right hand, he has to be careful with that right hand a little bit. Again, that's can't get any better coverage than that.
Second down and 10 now. Well, throws it to the outside. Bird had a beat on it.
Well, if that ball would have been caught, I think Jarris Bird might have laid the wood on him. And I look at Jarris Bird, you see number 32, he's a stocky, big defensive back, or a cornerback. And I always say that he'd be a great safety because he loves to hit. He's a tough kid, but he has great cover skills.
Utah State takes a timeout here. So maybe just the idea that, hey, we got to make a play here and do anything to stay in the game.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's hard to even say that because they're right now not in the game, 35-7.
Well, but you still have to play smart for the coaching staff to know that you can't give the defense a short field. The offense has to move the ball, get on the other side of the field, give your defense some rest, not take any chances, but yet you got to score some points.
Junior Duck Club fans, kids, you join that Junior Duck Club. And you go to GoDucks.com to do it. Children 12 and under. And you get t-shirts, vouchers for games, other great prizes. Be a member of the Junior Duck Club. There's one. Boy, what a cute little girl as she's watching the game. Lots of juniors. My two little juniors are out there somewhere today.
Enjoying the game?
Yeah, 10 and 7.
All right.
Little girlies. Big Duck fans, of course. Burrell scrambling, trying to get outside. He gets around Nick Reed and throws it. Has the catch, but short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and a yard, and I wonder whether or not they might go for it here, Anthony. What do you have to lose?
Well, you might go for it. It's 5 minutes left in the second quarter. I think the receiver had to be a little bit smarter than what he just did, is know where the chains are. I mean, if you're going to stop and get to the sideline, get open, get behind the first down marker. Then he steps out of bounds.
When he caught the ball, all he had to do was just fall down forward.
Yeah.
He would have had the first down.
Well, now they're going to punt the ball. And that's not smart on the receiver. You have to know where you are on the field at all times.
Maybe we'll see a fake punt in this situation. Up into the wind. Here comes Jarris Bird. He makes the catch like a baseball outfielder. Not the normal way you catch a football, and then he takes a pop for it, too.
There's a flag right away.
See what the flag's all about.
Talking about Jarris Bird, he's a tough kid. Again, he's not going to call a fair catch. He's going to take that ball and take a shot, take it for the team, and then he gets right back up and starts talking to the defender who hit him. Saying, that's not hard enough. That's your best shot.
During the kick, holding by the return team. 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
One of the interesting stats of this game as we start to see some stuff. Oregon with 376 yards of total offense. But look at the time of possession. So, you know, there's one stat for the Aggies, but the only problem is that's because Oregon scored so quick. You're not going to get a lot of time of possession when you score in a minute or 10 seconds.
No, you're not. No, you're not. And those are the explosion plays that this Utah State team cannot afford to have.
Jeremiah Masoli is the quarterback now. He'll hand it off to LeGarrette Blunt. Blunt picks up 4 yards to the 17-yard line, maybe the 18. Boy, the buzz this week about Jeremiah Masoli was, look at that guy's arm. He is not big, but he throws it, Anthony.
He throws it, and he has that quick release, the old Dan Marino release. I mean, that ball is by his ear, and then it's gone.
Very strong arm. You see he's not a huge quarterback. He's more in the line of like a Chase Daniel.
Right.
Todd Reesing at Kansas. Masoli the throw now. For the first time he's going to scramble out. He's going to go down back there at the 6-yard line. Takes a big loss. And a third and long coming up here.
That's a great job by the defensive line of Utah State. You know, getting to the quarterback. There was no time. Right when Jeremiah dropped back to throw the football, he had to avoid the pass rush.
So it's 3rd and 17 here. Masoli now drops the ball into the end zone, falls down, and it's either a touchdown or a safety. It's a touchdown for the Aggies. Masoli fumbles the ball in the end zone, and the Aggies have a touchdown. That's one way to get 6 points.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Utah State, you got to find a way to put some points on the board. Right there, just lack of concentration, keeping your eye on the ball. So I think what happens is he looked up as he was getting the snap, trying to get a pre-snap read, and he took his eye. He wasn't even looking at the ball.
I've never seen a player get a touchdown for such little work. He just fell on the ball, and it was a touchdown.
I mean, his eyes went off the football, looking down the field.
The extra point is up, and it's good. It's 35-14 now.
That's 35.
Now watch his head. He's looking down the field, and the ball's not even in his hands yet. That's a rookie mistake. You have to secure the ball first, and then look down and see what the coverages that take place down the field.
They're fired up. That's a free 7 right there.
That hurts a little bit because coaches will get frustrated because that's the thing that's correctable, but you have to understand, you know, what's first. You know, the snap is first. Secure the football first, then look downfield.
4:19 until halftime. It's 35-14. Antonio May.
The first touchdown ever, huh?
Yeah. Boy, that's a big shock. Up in Seattle, halftime, BYU 14, Washington 14.
Oh.
So the Huskies with a much better performance, it seems, so far. Remember, they were only down by 4 at halftime last week. There's Masoli, who just is hoping he gets to go back out on the field.
Yeah.
And throw the ball around a little bit after that drive.
Well, as a coach, you're going to get frustrated with that play, and you're going to wonder, hey, do I, take him out of the game? I know a lot of times when a linebacker or a defensive back, they blow a coverage, they take him out of the game. Will they do that with the quarterback?
Great opportunity here for a big return as well, because the wind is blowing pretty good. And so Walter Thurman and Andre Crenshaw ought to get a chance here. Ball's going to come right down at the goal line. Here comes Walter Thurman looking for a block or two. Thurman gets outside across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And who will the quarterback be here with 4:13 in the quarter? Hey fans, Pape Jam is just around the corner. Can you believe it? Come watch the Oregon men's team take on San Diego, the Toreros, while the women take on Georgia Tech. Tickets go on sale Monday, October 13th. Here's Blunt looking for some room, and he, little patient on the run, picks up 4 yards.
I think they're telling Jeremiah, just hand the ball off for a little while. Let's move this football. 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Hurry up offense. Let's play smart.
They're quick on the ball. Here's Masoli as he rolls out. Now he throws it down the field. Almost there to Jeffrey Mail. Nice play made by a linebacker to save a touchdown by Devon Hall.
Devon is a safety, a big safety, 6'3", about 220. It's a nice job.
Boy, if he doesn't touch it, it's
yeah, it's a touchdown. And that's the same play they scored last week against Washington right there. Jeffrey Mail running down the sideline.
3rd down, and we're calling about 6 here for Masoli. Looking to throw. Now he throws it to the middle, and Dixon has the 1st down across the 45 to the 46.
That was nice patience by Jeremiah, trying to buy time for his receivers to get open. And then his quick release, Joe, that's just so important that he has that quick release that he can get rid of the ball very quickly in the pocket.
See if Masoli airs one out with that big long arm. Here's looking over the middle. He throws it up top. He just threw it too far. Jeffrey Mail was there.
And that's the timing thing that he has to deal with the starters. You know, fighting their speed, knowing the touch that he has to lay that ball out there and let the receiver go get it. Sometimes the young quarterbacks that get in there, they're so excited, the arms, everything is just going 100 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you throw that ball and you think you only throw it 20 yards, but you throw it 40.
Masoli learned a lot from that one. He's got plenty of protection. If he waits just another second or so, and he's going to have a wide open receiver. A little screen pass set up. Thrown too high, incomplete.
Well, that ball was thrown high right there. Again, he has to get the timing down. I mean, that play was open for some a disaster for Utah State. Oregon had it blocked.
Big hole. Would have been a big hole there, as you mentioned, Anthony. 3rd and 10. Now a flag comes out. So let's see what that's all about.
We got a timeout too. Looked like Utah State called timeout.
Timeout, Utah State. That's their 3rd and final charge timeout. There was a flag on the play for delay a game. The requested timeout came before that.
So if they didn't get a timeout,
it would have been a penalty.
It would have been delay a game.
They saved Oregon a penalty there.
Show your pride wearing the colors. Every Friday, students, alumni, and fans wearing the colors of their favorite
3rd and 10, Oregon a little stilted. They were so efficient. Justin Roper running that offense very well. And now Jeremiah Masoli trying to get some very valuable experience. Soccer teams in action, Anthony. The Oregon women's soccer team had a big win against Utah on Friday night. The first time the Ducks had beaten the University of Utah. Have a very strong soccer program, so Ducks are off to a good start. Picked up a win against Utah State earlier this year as well, so very young team, and the Ducks with just as many uniform combinations as the football team. Head on out to see the soccer team tomorrow against St. Mary's at Pape Field. Anthony, 1 o'clock.
Speaking of soccer, my daughter's playing a soccer game right now, so I'm going to get her to watching those soccer games.
Masoli going to try to run for the 1st down. Not going to make it. It's going to be 4th and 7, and Ducks are going to have to punt the football for the first time today.
You know, I think Jeremiah is finding out that these guys are a lot faster He's playing, you know, Utah State a lot faster in Division I football than he was at that JC. Because JC, he was running all over the place. But, you know, you have to learn running north and south instead of sideline to sideline to pick up yards.
This is the kind of thing that has to happen, though, Anthony, for Jeremiah Masoli. He's got to learn. I mean, this is how you learn. This one went off the side of the foot for Josh Cyree. Not his best effort. It's going to go out of bounds at the 19-yard line. But you know what? It's better than knocking it straight into the end zone.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he'll take that.
Out of bounds at the 19. 32-yard punt, no return.
But you're right, Joe, about Jeremiah learning experience. He has to make mistakes, and if you're going to make mistakes, you know, go ahead and make a mistake when it's 35-14. You know, get some playing time now. Get in there, face adversity, struggle a little bit, because when he's going to learn is that when he go back to, you know, on Sunday and watch the game film and see the mistakes that he made, that's when he's going to learn.
Setcher is back in the game. He throws a little, trying to do an inside screen. They're going to lose a yard on the play as the Duck defense flows over there. Otis Nelson was the recipient. 2:21 to go here in the half. Utah State's in their hurry up now. Their 2-minute offense. Seeing if they can get themselves back in the football game before the half. Setcher throws it. Caught at the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 4 coming up. Boy, could you imagine if after all this, Utah State was able to go into halftime at 35-21?
Well, hey, they're going to try to move this ball downfield. They're going to take a shot here pretty soon.
Ducks use a timeout with exactly 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
I think the coaches for the Ducks are trying to settle the defense down for a minute, settle down. Let's make a stop here. We don't want them to go down and score. Let's deflate this balloon that they're having.
Folks, don't forget that new coaches show this year every Sunday night. You get a chance to see a lot of different stuff rather than just an old sitting there on the desk type of deal. You get to see up and down the Oregon sideline. It's Sunday night with Mike Vellotti, Anthony Newman, and Mike Jorgensen take you through the football game with head coach Mike Vellotti. You work up and down the sideline. You get to go in the locker room after the game. A lot of fun. Sunday night with Mike Vellotti every Sunday night at 6 o'clock on Comcast Sports Net. And then at 6:30, join us for Sunday Night live from Taylor's Bar and Grill here in Eugene. That's Mike Jorgensen and myself breaking down the game after the coaches show. And then the replay plays after that. So a full night of Oregon football on Comcast Sports Net. Setcher's going to go back at the 17-yard line. And they're going to have to punt the football, and Oregon uses a timeout. They want some time now to try to score again before the half.
That was a nice job by the defensive line getting to the quarterback without the pass rush. You got Nick Reed. Nick Reed he's going 100 miles an hour all the time. And look at the speed by Nick getting to the quarterback. He's not going to stop. Not a real big guy either. I mean, not big at all. I mean, if you look at him, you walk down the street, you might not even think he's a football player. I mean, because he doesn't look like that big, dominating football player. But I tell you what, he's one of the best in the Pac-10.
Here's Jorgie. Looking over on the radio.
I think Jorgie can still play. It looks like it. Wouldn't he like to be in this offense?
Oh,
compared to the offense that he was in before?
You could too, Anthony, so don't fool anybody. Yeah. Next TV game, that's you and me on the TV with the Oregon Ducks on, this is a replay game versus Purdue. Next Saturday, we'll head back to East Lafayette, Indiana, as Oregon takes on the Big Ten again against Purdue. You'll see that one next week on the replay on Comcast Sports Net. And again, you can see it Saturday night and Sunday evening after Sunday Night Live on Comcast Sports Net. Our next live game will be the Boise State game here, Anthony.
Another good game, another fun one.
Short punt again. This one bounces out of bounds in Utah State territory. It's at the 47-yard line, and the Ducks will take over there. They need a little energy, little life. You know, you get a big lead like that. It's like basketball game. You get a big lead, then you everything kind of calms down a little bit. A lot of the fans have already headed out for their halftime festivities.
30-yard kick, no return.
Well, it will be interesting to see how Jeremiah runs this offense. Are they going to just hand the football off, try to get down the field, or are they're going to air it out, spread the field, and let him throw the football?
Terrence Scott spread out here on the near side. Here's Masoli. He's going to throw the ball over the middle. Catch is made by Ed Dixon. That's his 4th catch of the day.
Big target to throw to, number 83, Ed Dixon.
2nd down and 2 here from Masoli. Opens up in the middle, throws it hard over the middle. Jeffrey Mayo, 20 to the 15, inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
Again, that's that Dan Marino release. Just snap the football. Just make that football go to the chest of number 23.
First down at the 14.
Strong arm, again, not real big. Step back in the pocket, trying to look over those big offensive and defensive linemen, finding the target.
Masoli again, this one towards the end zone and thrown too far. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Fans wanted a flag on the push, but the ball might have been just uncatchable at that point.
You know, and with Ed Dixon, Jeremiah has to throw the ball up there, give Dixon a chance to go for the ball, because he's going to have a mismatch with his size against a smaller DB.
Second down and 10 here. Masoli gonna run now. Looking. Flag comes out. Flag is down. Masoli goes out at the 8-yard line. And it looks like it's going to be on Oregon.
And look, Jeremiah gets to the sideline. If you're standing on the field or you're a defensive back, come up, make the tackle. Can you make this tackle? I don't think so. But Jeremiah here, again, inexperienced quarterback. Get out of bounds.
Penalty, main 2nd down.
It's a holding call with 59 seconds to go. Takes it all the way back to the 24. And that's the big issue, though, Anthony, is the holding. But also, you know, Oregon really can't afford to have more quarterbacks start getting hurt again.
No, no need to spin and do a spin move and go back inside. Get out of bounds and save your body.
Little screen, nothing there, though. That one's in the Utah State scout playbook.
Sure was. I mean, they read that play. They knew that play was coming. So great job on the defense and the coaching staff getting him ready to play, make that play.
3rd and 27. This one's headed towards the end zone. Masoli, no, he's going to take it short to Dixon. And they get it to the 23-yard line. So Masoli checks down, and they'll come in and try to get 3 out of what looked to be a real promising drive. Matt Evenson will come in with a huge amount of wind kind of crossing behind him as the clock continues to run with no timeouts. Under 15 to 14. And now to 10. Plenty of time here to get set. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. Matt Evenson runs on and makes a nice looking field goal in kind of a hurry up drill situation. And Oregon leads it now 38 to 14.
That was a nice job by the PAT team or field goal team to come on there with only 15 seconds left and get 3 points out of that. But again, that's hard to practice time management. Can you get on the field, get lined up, and kick the ball?
Feels like a lot in the crowd are taking the nap right now. You know, it's a little, and the team a little bit too. You get that big lead, all that energy. It's like, okay, let's take a little nap, and then come back hard afterwards.
Yeah, with 38 to 14 in the in the first half, it's hard for the crowd to get excited. I think the crowd's going to get excited more when the defense is on the field because they want the defense to keep this team out of the end zone.
Utah State. Matt Evenson the kick.
So Matt Evenson to kick it off again. So remember my question earlier? Can you tell me right now how many times Matt Evenson's kicked the ball? Have to figure that out.
I lost count.
Those of you at home, go ahead and start counting. You can send us a text message or something. Matt Evenson sends it high. This one's probably going to get returned, and it's going to be the last play of the half. And it gets returned almost to the 20-yard line. And it is the last play of the half, so the teams will head to the break with Oregon leading at 38-14. Boy, offensively, Anthony, with that first unit in there, you got to give a lot of credit to Justin Roper and how they looked. Just like a machine, exactly the way you'd expect them to look against a team like Utah State.
Justin Roper goes in, throws an interception, and comes back and has a field day. So he looks very good, very poised, and he's leading this football team.
Going to go down and try to catch up with Mike Bellotti here. As we'll go down to Jay Allen to talk to head coach Mike Bellotti.
Coach, you're up 38-14 here at halftime. Just your thoughts on that first half.
Well, I'm just barely. I'm not happy because we gave them a touchdown. You can't give anybody anything, and they did mount one drive on us. We got to make sure we come back for that. We're not real sharp offensively right now. We're trying to get some people some work, but if they didn't do a better job, they won't get any work.
I just wanted to ask you about Justin Roper. I thought he looked pretty good in the ball game.
I thought he's doing a good job. He made one mistake early. He didn't see the coverage, but he came back and threw some really nice passes after that and moved the ball around.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, back upstairs to you.
All right, thanks very much, Jay, as Oregon leads it 38-14 at the half. And interesting to hear Coach Bellotti talk about how it was Justin not seeing the field on that initial interception. But after that, he played great. And Oregon leads this one big at the break, 38-14. Our AT&T halftime report is coming your way right after this. Stadium. Joe Giansanti along with Anthony Newman as Oregon leads the Utah State Aggies 38-14. A very interesting day in college football that started out with some Big Ten teams really struggling, but then pulling out wins at the end. Let's take a look at our by Mart halftime scoreboard report and give you some ideas of how it's going around the country. We got some final scores for you. Take on the Aggies in the second half. This concludes our halftime report, brought to you by our friends at AT&T. Gets by Southern Miss, Oklahoma and Cincinnati in a good one in Norman. Ready to get back at it here at Autzen Stadium, 38-14 as we get out of halftime. A very long first half with all the scoring that happened, as you've seen a lot of the scores in the country already in the third and fourth quarters that start at the same time. One of the reasons is all the yards and everything that's happened in this game. Time now for our halftime stats, brought to you by Bud Light. Some of these stats are absolutely amazing for one half of football, Anthony.
Well, for the first half, 225 yards rushing. I mean, my goodness. I mean, total yards, 413 total yards for the Oregon offense. But one thing that strikes me that's a no-no is the two turnovers. They can't turn the ball over. I know Coach Bellotti's been in the locker room telling them they have to protect the football.
Well, I'll tell you what, the total yardage record for Oregon is 667 yards in one game against BYU, which was back in 1989, and I remember that game. And hey, I mean,
it's possible.
Not only does it seem likely they're going to have that record, it looks like they're going to blow it away.
Well, with the running game of LeGarrette Blount running the football and Andre Crenshaw is going to run the football, and it'd be interesting to see what quarterback comes in and plays. If Chris Harper's going to get some playing time. But, you know, with so many weapons in the style of offense, Joe, they could put up another 300 yards this half.
There's T.J. Ward as he gets ready. Haven't seen him a lot yet. Chris Harper
is warming up.
There, you just saw him throw the ball. Everybody said, I've never seen him throw the ball. You just saw it. First time right there.
This is the second time right here.
Yep. See, he can throw it. So maybe we'll get a chance to see Chris Harper in the second half, as we're about 25 seconds away from the teams jumping back on the field. And Anthony, this is the sort of thing where you got to keep playing hard, though. You know, the things that you don't want to have happen when you don't go full speed, when you don't play hard.
Well, you know, on that interview with Mike Bellotti before halftime, he was upset. He wasn't happy at all, and I could tell, being an ex-player, I could tell the tone in the coach's voice that he was going to lay into those guys. And they probably did in halftime to tell them, we can't let up. We made some major mistakes. You know, we gave them a touchdown. Turnovers, we have to protect the football. We need to play better. Even though the score shows 38-14, I think he's upset with a lot of the guys playing or trying to get some playing time and not performing.
wonder what that gentleman had to say to his team at halftime. I mean, I think all you can really say is you guys have to keep playing hard. Who knows what's going to happen, but you got to play hard every play.
Yes, you do. I mean, you never know. You play to, to the clock strikes 0. Keep working hard, you get more points.
Matt Evenson will kick it off. Again, he's got the wind at his back as Oregon is kicking off to the east right now, and this is going to go way through the end zone, all the way to the back, and the Utah State Aggies will take it to the 20-yard line. Some pretty good things to see in the first half, Anthony, that we saw. Ed Dixon, much involved in the offense, with 6 catches for 70 yards. Jeffrey Mail looked good. Terrence Scott again.
That's the receiver core, and you talk about the receiver core, a lot of depth at the receiver core. We still haven't seen Aaron Pflugrad catch some balls, because he can catch some balls over the middle. So Jeffrey Mail's been playing well.
And then defensively for Oregon, guys have been flying around. Utah State, believe it or not, has done a better job offensively than Washington did.
Yeah.
Burrell trying to get outside, and he does. Will Cook is after him, and he throws it back into the field, and it's caught for a first down. How about that?
Well, Will understands that he lost contain, and I think he misread Burrell's speed coming off that corner off the boot. And Will has to understand, go for the upfield shoulder, go for the outside shoulder, attack the outside shoulder, not the inside shoulder, keep him inside. Give some credit to Burrell getting outside of the pocket, throwing the football.
Fans always say, why can't they keep contained? It's a little harder than it sounds. I mean, harder than it looks, right?
Those guys play football too now.
They'll hand this one off up the middle and trying to spin. Turbin does, but can't get away. He'll pick up a yard. 2nd down and 9 coming up.
Well, with Burrell in the game as a quarterback, I think, Utah State can do some more things. He's not going to just sit in the pocket. If there's nothing open downfield, he may take off and run. Also, I think it opens it up for the running game, trying to get Turbin the ball and let him get some carries.
2nd down and 9. Shifty got away. Now he's going to run. Has the first down at the 40. A little bit more. You got to give him credit. Nice scramble.
Well, that's 2 plays that Will Tukuafu had a chance to get a sack, put his hands on the quarterback. And again, it's not about Will. It's about Burrell. He's fast enough to make a play. I mean, again, you got to give, the credit to the other team. They're athletes. They play football. They have legs. They can run. I mean, you got to give them some credit.
Well, I'm a quarter mile up here, but, just by the untrained eye, Burrell looks faster to me than Jake Locker
looked. He does. You're right. You're right. A little shiftier.
So Aggies moving the ball here on their first drive of the second half with a couple first downs. Turbin hit at the line and driven backwards after a 1-yard gain. So far this season, Anthony, no tailback has run for a gain of more than 8 yards.
And you have to give that credit to the defensive line of Oregon. They have a double task. They have to get after the quarterback when the ball snapped, and also they have to stop the run. And if you can have your line stop the run without your linebackers creeping up there, then you're doing a good job.
Burrell is 7 of 10 for 81 yards and a touchdown. 5 carries for 30 yards, so he's being very productive. This one he throws now just a little high. 3rd down coming up.
The offensive line, though, for Utah State's doing a nice job of protecting Burrell. I mean, he was standing in the pocket there for a while. I mean, he looked at the first option, second option, and through to the third, and he didn't run. He stayed in the pocket.
Third down and 9. Turbin heads out of the backfield, empty backfield. Burrell looking for the outside. This time a linebacker's out there. It's T.J. Ward, a safety, and he runs him down. They just spying him from the outside that time.
Exactly. That time they used a safety, a guy with some speed, to say, you go watch the quarterback. And then Burrell, now it's a different story. You're not trying to fake out a defensive lineman. You got a safety that you have to deal with. Not enough speed for Burrell that time.
Boy, T.J. Ward closed on that one, too.
Yes.
Great closing speed, and he's going to make some good plays and some big plays for Oregon this year, I think.
Active safety, very active safety.
Low punt, very short, and it bounces back. Last week we saw a 6-yard punt, and this is going to be a 15-yard punt. 15-yard punt, and Oregon has good field position at the 43. Ducks with the ball when we come back.
Two clients of mine, Mike and Carol, live here. With 3 girls, 3 boys, and a tiger, Mike had a hunch he'd need more coverage. So he worked out a homeowner's policy together in case the boys caused damage to the house. And great car coverage for a family with a bunch of young drivers. Nothing that happens here surprises me. And I make sure nothing we do surprises them. No one knows you like family.
American Family Insurance.
The new Wild Alaskan Salmon Taco from Taco Del Mar is attracting a crowd. It's the taste to crave this summer. Is that your stomach growling? Catch one today before they're gone. The Wild Alaskan Salmon Taco, now serving at Taco Del Mar.
About 25 years ago, Oregon Governor Atiyeh dedicated this American flag at Guarantee RVs with this plaque.
This flag is dedicated to the great people of Oregon in recognition of one of our great freedoms, the freedom of mobility.
Unlike other countries, here in America, you can take your motorhome or trailer any place you want. You can be sure that we'll be here before and after the sale, too, with over 40 years in business.
That's only at Guarantee RV in Junction City and Coburg, too.
The new Wild Alaskan Salmon Taco from Taco Del Mar is attracting a crowd. It's the taste to crave this summer. Is that your stomach growling? Catch one today before they're gone. The Wild Alaskan Salmon Taco, now serving at Taco Del Mar.
Hey everyone, back to Autzen Stadium. There's a look at Patrick Chung and the Oregon defenders as they talk about what to adjust. They don't have to adjust much today. They've done a very good job against Utah State. Justin Roper back in at quarterback for the Ducks. And he's going to throw. Roper looking down the field. He throws it high, and Dixon gets a mitt on it, but can't quite bring it in. Hey, fans, let's look at today's trivia question brought to you by our friends at Comcast. 3 great services from one great company. 100% all digital picture and sound, plus on-demand, lightning-fast, high-speed internet, now featuring Power Boost. Which NFL team has drafted the most Oregon players? That's the question. As the Garrett Blunt carries to the near side for about 5 yards. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
That's a good question.
Well, you played in the NFL for 12 seasons. You ought to have a better beat on it than most of us, right? Do you miss it, Anthony, still?
Oh, yeah.
You still look like you could play, by the way.
Well, thank you. I wish I could play. I miss college football. That's what I miss.
Roper now throws it to Terrence Scott, who makes the catch and has the 1st down. One thing about you, Anthony, is it was great that you stayed in Oregon, because I know you thought about going to Arizona State to play baseball and football when Oregon didn't have baseball. Now the Ducks do.
Well, you know, I want to be a part of this program and be a part of what here Terrence Scott is doing, you know, making plays for this Oregon program, and I want to be a part of this family, and I'm glad I did.
Roper on a little play action, throws it to the outside. Nice throw to Jeffrey Mayle. Loses his footing a little bit, spins to the 1st down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Boy, you know, that's a much harder throw than it seems when you're just watching it.
It's a very hard throw, and looking at this Oregon offense again, Joe, they're doing the no-huddle, hurry-up offense. Come out 3rd quarter, get some more reps at the no-huddle.
They're on it quick. Roper fumbles the ball and then falls on it. Yeah, they're not wasting any time right now. They're quick to the ball.
Max Unger, number 60, the center, had a little low snap that time, I think. But this time it wasn't the quarterback. The snap was a little low. But you see those eyes. If they're looking downfield, looking for that pre-snap read, take the eyes off the ball. Not a good thing.
Roper gives it back to LeGarrette Blunt, gets a block. Blunt to the 30, tries to get through to the 20-yard line, and a first down as he picks up nearly 20 yards on that carry.
Wow. I mean, the explosion that he has. I mean, how did, you know, he's from down in Mississippi area.
Yeah.
He played JC. How did those guys let him go down there? I mean, he's the type of runner that belongs in SEC. They're just powerful running back, and now we got him. The Ducks have him.
Jason Williams makes the catch. Williams to the 10.
Jason Williams looked like he juggled the ball for a minute, but strong enough to hold on to the football. The football's like a little tennis ball in his hands with his big hands.
Ducks quick on the play here. Here comes Roper. Rolling. Now he throws it towards the end zone, throws it away.
Smart play. Smart play.
Boy, the pace of the offense is just incredible. You don't even, you know, it's just such a different game when teams go out and huddle. When we actually see a team play Oregon who huddles, they seem so archaic as opposed to what's happening in college football now.
Exactly.
Here's Roper trying to sneak it for the first down. I don't think he got it. I don't know. It's real close.
No, he didn't get that.
The one thing that's a little bit deceiving is the little orange marker on the far side is not where the chain is. See, the actual chain is on the 10-yard line. The actual orange arrow is a little bit beyond it. I don't know why they do that, Anthony. I'll have to figure out or ask one of the coaches why they do that. Maybe it's like, hey, this is where you need to get, so in case you miss it by a little bit, you still get the first down.
Well, now, in looking at that, and I'm glad you pointed that out, he might have picked this first down up.
It's very close. I think he's going to be a little bit short. So they're going to have to make a decision. Well, why wouldn't they just go for it here?
Well, you know, you haven't stopped number 9, LeGarrette, yet. You know, my chances, give the ball to him. When you look at the odds, I think you're going to win those odds by number 9, 240-pound running back, getting a yard, not even a yard, half an inch maybe.
8 plays, 49 on this drive, 2:14. Started with really good field position after a poor punt. And 4th and inches. LeGarrette Blunt. Boy, he's going to get the ball, isn't he? Doesn't 60,000 people think he's getting the ball? Justin Roper has it, and he goes into the end zone for the touchdown, and that's the kind of call you get when you're Chip Kelly, when everybody expects somebody to get the ball, and they don't.
And that is on Justin Roper. Justin Roper read that. He has the option of giving the ball to LeGarrette or pulling that thing out. He saw everyone collapse to LeGarrette and pulled it out. Nice play calling right there.
Extra point. Matt Evenson up and good. And Oregon now leads it 45-14. Who said that Justin Roper can't run a little bit? It's not too hard when you can drive a Mack truck through it. And I think the most tired person on the field today is going to be the Duck, because he has to do push-ups every time Oregon scores a point. 45-14, yeah? Oregon to kick it off now. There was a personal foul penalty on the extra point, so that gets assessed on the kickoff. So Matt Evenson's going to send this one through the uprights. Actually hit a fan in the stands. I don't mean to laugh about it, just because normally the net's there, but you just don't normally see a kickoff hit somebody in the stands, right?
He has a leg. He really does.
All right, trivia question brought to you by Comcast. Which NFL team has drafted the most players out of Oregon? The answer, Anthony?
LA Rams, Los Angeles Rams.
There it is. 16 Oregon Ducks have been drafted by the Rams over the years, and one of them is standing right next to me, right here, Anthony.
Well, I played with a lot of them. With Cliff Hicks is one.
Yeah.
Ron Gould, Tom Palmeyer, Latin Berry, Chris Miller.
Was it 1983, 84 for you when you get drafted?
No, 87.
87, what am I thinking? 1987. 1987. Throwing that over the middle, incomplete. So 1987, I want to just finish that up. I don't know why I missed that, because I remember when Bill Musgrave and I were living together, you had the nice car and we had the truck.
Oh, I had the nice car.
And so whenever you wanted to move, you'd come and you'd trade in your nice car for Bill Musgrave's truck, and then you'd load all your stuff up, and then we'd take your car, and I think your license plate said Q on it.
AQ, number 8.
And so we would drive around in your car all around town, everybody's thinking that we're Anthony Newman.
But wait a minute, I don't know if RX-7 was a nice car. That was a little RX-7.
In those days, I mean, hey, that was
It was a little two-seater.
It was light blue, wasn't it? Was it light blue or like silver?
I don't know. I never had it. My best friend Anthony Taylor always took it, so I never had the car, so I don't know what happened.
Those are the good old days. Well, we had a fun time, didn't we, back in those days?
That was fun.
Second down and 10. Burrell trying to scramble. This time he gets sandwiched down at the 13-yard line.
And again, that was another coverage sack, Joe. I mean, the defensive backs are playing very well in the back end, allowing the defensive lineman to get to Burrell. And I think also there's a spy, so there's no really holes for Burrell to look to get down the field.
Little update from Seattle with 8:25 to go in the fourth quarter. BYU and Washington tied up at 21. Huskies trying to get a win today, performing much better against BYU. Burrell looking to throws it to the outside. There's a catch made there, and down to 25, short of the first down, so the Aggies will have to punt.
Again, we talk about the team speed. When the receivers catch the footballs, they are hit very quickly. You know, the receiver's going to get open. They're going to make some plays, but watch the defensive backs. Watch when the ball is caught. They're all sitting. There's 3 guys coming right now. Takes 2 steps, and he's down.
Jarris Bird is deep. Again, the wind is coming in hard. Caldwell's had about 4 punts in a row that have been very short, so you can't expect this one's not going to go very far either. This one's straight up in the air. It's going to hit and bounce straight up and be touched at the 47-yard line as a 21-yard punt, and just having a heck of a time as a punter right now into that wind.
Dealing with the wind, and that's, you know, those punts that, hey, you can't kick a high one now, you know, just try to get it down there. There was a team last year that used to run to the edge of the side of the punt team and kick the ball on an angle and get it down there.
Chris Harper now coming into the game at quarterback, and I'm pretty confident that our fans are going to get a chance to see Chris Harper throw the football.
Yes.
First and 10, Harper hands the ball off. Crenshaw looking for some room, nothing there, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Anthony, let's look back at our Northwest Dodge dealers' keys to the game that we talked about early on. See if we can give you a little report card today.
Well, we talked about Jay Will and Dixon getting into the game, and yes, they are involved in the game. Also, we talked about defense creating turnovers. That hasn't happened. And in special teams.
Here's Harper now. Harper hands the ball off. Crenshaw has some room. Here goes Andre Crenshaw. Crenshaw to the 20, inside the 15 to the 10, and down at the 7-yard line.
Crenshaw is another slasher, and he reminds me of Jeremiah Johnson, but a little smaller, not as fast, but the same running style. Now watch this cut right to the right, and then splits it right here, accelerates, doesn't have the top end speed that Jeremiah does, but still can get down the field about 30, 40 yards.
Looks inside the 10 now, some movement on the offensive line, and that's going to bring it back 5 yards.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 79 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Mark Asper a little over anxious. Our keys to the game brought to you by Northwest Dodge dealers. Again, when you look at those keys, Anthony, I guess the last check is
special team.
You know, I mean, I don't know what to say other than that the Utah State punters had an awful day having to punt into the wind, and the reason is he had to punt it 8 times.
Yeah.
So Oregon's only punted the football once. Here's Harper now. Harper going to keep the ball and run it. Harper to the 10, Harper to the 5, and he's into the end zone. Harper for the touchdown.
That's when you have a weapon right there at a quarterback who can throw the football and run the football.
Boy, he looks good.
Big quarterback at that at 230. Looked like he might have hurt his ankle a little bit on that.
Yeah, coming off limping just a little bit.
Reading that defensive tackle, so he's reading to the defensive tackle. The tackle closes down on the running back. He pulls it out and runs.
Took a helmet right into the thigh there, so maybe he just had a little thigh contusion there. But the kick is up and good, and that means, believe it or not, 52 more push-ups for the Duck. 52 to 14 right now. .649 left in the third quarter here, as Oregon just continues to roll here easily over Utah State. And this kickoff again is deep, and that one almost hits the cheerleader.
Trying to hit the cheerleaders. Look like bowling pins.
Taking out all kinds of people down there on the kickoffs. So the Carl's Jr. scoring drive, another good drive for Oregon, led by Chris Harper. And let's just go straight to the Duck, who had to do 52 more push-ups. So his total after the 3-play drive, now 7 plus 14 plus 21 plus 28 plus 35 plus 38 plus 45 plus 52, 240 push-ups for the little guy.
But the beak is getting in the way.
Yeah, I think he's using the beak to help him.
You can't. You gotta keep your head up.
We gotta talk to him about his form. It's a good idea. He's got more to go too, I would imagine, by the time the end of the day gets here. Incomplete. Anthony, you do a lot of personal training. We may need to...
Well, his head needs to be up. You never have your head down when you're doing push-ups.
Oh, he's fired up, though. He thinks he's doing a good job, but he kind of cheated him a little bit.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Though maybe you give him half of what he's done.
Well, we'll see if he has to do 59 more if the Ducks score again, which would seem likely how this game has gone. And I think the only question is if Oregon's going to set their all-time total offense record. They have 524 yards right now. 667 is the record. Second down and 10 here. Burrell throws it to the outside, and it's incomplete. Had a receiver out there, but not able to come up with the catch is Omar Sawyer.
Well, it looked like the receivers are not concentrating on these balls. 2 drop passes in a row. That's right in his belly. First of all, he's letting the ball get into his body. As a receiver, that's a no-no. Catch it with your hands. As soon as it hits the body, you got some shoulder pads, it's going to bounce right off.
Third down and 10. Ducks have just rushed 3 here. They set up a little screen pass. And they do a good job turning it back in, and the Aggies will have to punt.
You know, it was a great job on that play by Kenny Rowe, the defensive end. Number 58, see him right there running off the field. Being a smart football player, smelled the screen, stopped his pass rush, and came back and made a play.
You almost feel for Caldwell, who has to punt into the wind again. He's not doing his average any good. I guess when he goes back to 5,000 feet elevation at Utah State, he'll get some of those yards back. Very low and very short. This one's going to bounce, and I think Darius Bird might have touched, I think Bird might have touched it. We'll see. He didn't act like he did. And they're still talking about it, whether he touched it or not. They can always review it, and they give it to Oregon.
It looked like no, he didn't touch it. Went right past him.
He certainly didn't act like it afterwards. Usually a player, just that reaction is, you know, going to get you anyway. Total yards right there. The Aggies haven't been able to do anything at all, just like the Huskies did last week. Roper, 13 of 18, 173, and a touchdown and an interception.
Good day at the office right there. Very good day.
Chris Harper comes back in at quarterback. And I think Utah State wants to review it. I think they want that play to be reviewed, and the referee's going to talk to them about it.
Utah State is challenging the ruling on the field.
want to look and see whether or not Jarrisburg did touch the ball.
It bounces right away from. No, he didn't touch the football.
It might have touched his foot, Anthony.
I think that's a bad angle.
Is it? The ball's past him already?
Yeah, the ball's past him already. Right? Watch the ball take off right there. It's gone.
Yeah, it did not touch him. You're right. That was a bad angle. No, it didn't touch him. So they'll go ahead and look at it. And once they get done doing that, Chris Harper will be at quarterback. Beautiful day here at Autzen. The fans sure filed in, and for those of you who haven't had a chance to see this yet, there's the new Oregon baseball park, PK Park, under construction right now. There's some tractors out there, and they've been digging some dirt. There where that scoreboard is, where the little O is right there, that's right about where home plate is on the left-hand side there, and then it sprays out. You're starting to kind of see the outline of what the field might look like. That field is going to be ready to go for Oregon's first game against the defending national champions on February 27th. So Oregon baseball, after 27 years, we were at the auction last night.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Oregon's football, 1st and 10. Charge timeout.
We were at the auction last night in Portland, and we were talking about all the great things for Oregon. We were talking about the volleyball team in the top 15, the cross-country team national champions last year. The football team is ranked in the top 20, and Oregon baseball hasn't lost a game in 27 years. BYU is ahead front out of Washington 28-21, 3:31 in the 4th up in Seattle. So quite a game up in Husky Stadium today.
We're talking about the baseball stadium. That's going to be a very nice venue here when you have the football stadium and the baseball stadium right next to it. And I know you're a big part of that the baseball program, Joe, coming back to Oregon, and I'm excited about watching baseball here in Oregon.
Here's Harper. Big hole for him as he looks to pick his way. Gets hit from behind and goes down. They thought they took the ball away from him, but the thing about the baseball field, when I look at it and I see that dirt out there, Anthony, I can actually see it done. So yeah. I know what it's going to look like right now.
As you see, Harper takes a big hit, and that's what he has to learn to stay away from, taking these blind-sided shots. He's going to get injured over time.
Remine Alston in the backfield. He gets the ball, cuts it back, and he'll pick up maybe a yard.
I know Chris Harper is a young kid. He's a strong kid, and he wants to shine. He wants to run the football. But, you know, the greatest quarterbacks that were runners, they have to figure out, you know, the football, throwing the ball down the field can pick up your first downs a lot easier than running the football. Plus, you stay healthy if you just stand back there and throw the ball down the field.
And we still stay here in anticipation of Chris Harper's first pass.
We saw one
in the warm-ups. Anthony, we talked about your 12 years in the NFL with the Rams, and look at all these guys that played in the NFL for the Ducks. Class of 2008, we saw plenty of guys come through, and Stewart, Dixon, Schwartz. 29 players at the start of camp. 28 players made the cuts, including Jordan Kent with Seattle. And Maurice Morris is going to start for the Seahawks tomorrow. Adam Snyder, you know, he's got a long career ahead of him as well.
Yes.
Gary Zimmerman went in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yes. And you talk about the Oregon program, talk about what Bellatti's done, you know, over the last few years with bringing a lot of these Duck players to the next level. And it's always been the USCs and UCLA's, but now Oregon's right up there. You know, having these players play not just 1 or 2 years, but play, you know, 4 or 5 years in the NFL.
Just the talent level that Oregon has recruited over the years, Anthony, it just goes up and up and up. And, you know, here's what you see again with a guy like Chris Harper who's going to throw it. Harper complete. I believe it's Malachi Lewis to the 39-yard line.
Picks up the first down. And those are the type of throws that we talked about earlier. It's going to be safe passes, tight end curl, throw the ball, direct line, easy throw, big target. Shouldn't be a problem, and it wasn't.
1st and 10 now for Harper. He looks awfully comfortable running this offense out of Kansas. Hands it off to Remine Alston, who has a nice burst across the 50 into Utah State territory.
Boy, I love that run because I love the way Remine, he gets his shoulder square north and south, decides to hit the hole, and he takes off, just squirts through the line of scrimmage, picks up the first down. Not a real tall guy, but a powerful type running back. And right here, he's going east and west, and watch him turn the shoulders right there. Square up, take on the defender, nice little spin move.
The gentleman, Remine Alston, this time with a head down as he spins for a nice 7.5 yard gain.
Well, we talk about the depth of this football team and running back now. Now Remine's been sitting the whole 3 quarters. Now he's in here, you know, he's fresh. The Utah State defense is tired. He has some pop to his legs.
Second down and 3. 3:55 to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's Harper. He looks like he wants to run it. He's patient. And doesn't quite get there. The coaches are asking him to run it, but he was waiting for his blockers. And he's close to the first down.
Well, Chris Harper has to realize this is not high school. I mean, these guys, everyone's fast. In high school, you can get away with this kind of stuff. Little stutter step, you know, find that hole. You can't do that in college. And this is Utah State. You really can't do that against a USC or Arizona State. You got to take it up in the hole and get some yards, get the first down.
Just a little short of the first down. They'll hand it off, get the first down. Remine gets bounced at the 35 and marked at the 34-yard line.
But again, you can't be too hard on Chris Harper because he's a true freshman. He was just playing in Wichita, Kansas last year, you know, and so he's going to have some growing pains. He needs to look at the film and understand, oh, I need to take off on there. There's the hole.
That's what's so good about this game for Oregon, Anthony, is the chance for these guys to learn a little bit. They have to learn. Pflugrad went back for it, couldn't quite bring it in.
And Chris Harper took a shot on that play. Now he was poised here by staying in the pocket. Hold it, then takes a nice little shot.
That's good. Little freshman's got it.
Yes.
Not little. 6'3", 230. The big freshman has
looking down on you.
Yeah, he's got to take a few hits and get used to it. This time he throws outside and incomplete. Again, intended for Pflugrad, who got his fingers on it, but it was a little too high for him.
Not bad, not bad. I mean, those are kind of plays that you got to work on, the timing issues.
Third down and 10. Ducks are showing some confusion. I think they thought it was 4th down. So now they'll get it straightened out.
Well, there's a lot of time left on the play clock.
Chris Harper's waiting for a play to come in, and there's still 15 seconds on that clock with that new rule change. Call the play at the line. Harper, little blitz coming. He throws it out there. Catch is made on the far side to the 10 and to the 5, and held up right there all the way down to the 3-yard line. As Andre Crenshaw, nice little safety valve.
That was a nice little safety valve, nice little reaction by Chris Harper. Watch him looking downfield, nothing downfield. He's getting ready to run, and he stops and a little pop pass to Andre Crenshaw, and then there he's off to the races down the field.
Now Harper inside the 5 will try to lead him into the end zone and give 59 more push-ups for the Ducks here. Or for the Duck, if you will. Here's Harper rolling out. Now he looks, throws it towards the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Rory Cavalier with the touchdown.
That was patience right there by the freshman. I mean, that was a good sign, and that's a good sign to see that if he can do that now, he'll do that later on in his career. Of not running the football, he's still a threat holding the ball, allow his receivers to get open and throw the touchdown pass.
Extra point on its way, and it got tipped but went through barely, and Oregon leads it 59-14. Now Harper looking pretty good.
Oh, looking real good. I mean, he's real patient. He made the linebackers come up to attack him, allowed the receivers to get open. All the receivers are getting open. Nice job by the young man.
Wasn't exactly a great, spiral, but it doesn't really matter what it looks like as long as it gets there.
You get it there.
Well, this one has turned out to be a complete mismatch like we thought it would, Anthony, and there's still a whole quarter to go.
Yeah, and that's the sad part where Utah State, they got to keep fighting. And this is when the coaches find for Utah State if these guys are with the team or not with the team. If they give up or they're going to go out there and still play hard.
How great a shot was that? Oh,
He's
boy.
still cheating on the push-ups. Someone needs to tell him, go keep his head up.
That's 299
That's
push-ups.
Still, as long as he's moving those arms, he's been in those elbows. Been in the elbows.
That's almost as many times as Matt Evenson has kicked the football today, with all the kickoffs and extra points and the field goal that he kicked as the ball gets blown off the kicking tee.
Now, do you think people are starting to file out of the stadium?
I'm shocked how many people are still here.
I mean,
everybody's still here, Anthony.
We're still in the third quarter.
They're still making noise. And that's another long kick. Look out down there. You've got a fan, a cheerleader, and a nice catch by the fan there. Might have a hard time getting that ball back.
They threw it back.
The only person left down there to get knocked with the ball is a cameraman.
Yeah.
Fans, don't forget, every Tuesday night, the Coolers Tailgate Tuesday down at the Cooler. Have a good time down there. The staff does such a great job down there, the whole group down there. And want to see you down there on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock on the Oregon Sports Network radio show. The Coolers Tailgate Tuesdays. My friend Jonas Kungis, Phil, Laura, Bryson. There's about 100 people that work at the Cooler, so I can't go through them all. But great job down there, all the folks that work down at the Cooler.
Well, that was a nice play right there, Joe, by Nick Reed. Burrell tries to get outside, and Nick Reed just takes off, defeats two blockers, and makes a play.
One thing we haven't been shown you yet is the giant scoreboard here at Autzen. We'll show that to you. It's want to show it to you when it goes full screen on a replay, and it's just spectacular here. And it just there it is during the play, just like it was last year. But it's all images now on a screen, and then when the play happens, it goes to the full screen on the replay. Here's Burrell in a little quarterback draw, squirts through. Let's see if we can take a picture of that board now as it goes to the replay. See if they're going to show replay. If there's a whistle, they won't do it. Okay, here it is going to a replay, and it opens up, and now you can see what it looks like here at Autzen for those of you who haven't been in the stadium yet. So it's just absolutely spectacular. And then it goes back down, and there's the screen. So it's just allows Oregon to do so many things, and Ducks are looking for extra players to go in the game, it looks like. Nice shot. Good job, you guys, showing the scoreboard to all of our fans who haven't been in Autzen Stadium yet. Chance for the folks to see it. Burrell, plenty of time, throws it over the middle, has a catch, and a completion out to the 39-yard line.
Nice job by Otis Nelson. The seniors, they're going to still compete on this football team. Offensive line did a nice job, and Otis Nelson is not going to drop the ball. He's like, hey, I'm going to keep fighting to the end.
Update from Seattle. BYU is leading 28-21 late in the fourth, but Washington is driving into BYU territory, so we'll see if the Huskies can tie it up in Seattle. If not, I'm not sure which game they're going to win this year. There's a little trick play coming, trying to throw it, but here comes all the Oregon speed, and they get thrown out of bounds like a rag doll, and here comes the flags.
Eddie Pleasant, the horse collar, can't do that anymore.
I've never seen a player spin around like he was on ice. There's Disney on ice out there.
What that was.
Personal foul. Number 38 on the defense. Horse collar tackle. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And you're just glad he didn't get hurt, too. I mean,
yeah.
You don't want anything like that to ever happen in a game like this. can't tackle guys from the inside the collar anymore.
No, and you're trying to protect the football player, and that's good that you have those kind of rules.
Although he might have been grabbing by the shoulder pads, and that's what Mike Bellotti is saying to the officials. But the new rules, we've talked a lot about the 40-second clock, and the referee starts the ball after it goes out of bounds, except in the final 2 minutes of each half. 15-yard penalties for the helmet crown, the chop block, the horse collar. Also, face mask is now always 15 yards.
Yep.
No more discerning, and you can, of course, tape the other team's stuff. You can use the instant replay this year for a few more things, like whether or not a field goal is good if the ball goes over the upright, which I actually think is a really bad rule to review, because TV does not give you the depth of where the ball is when you watch it on TV, and you get an official standing right underneath the bar, and it's a pretty easy call if it was inside or outside the bar. They run this up the middle. The Aggies have a chance to get into the end zone here, but the Ducks collapse on defense and retain the runner at the 17-yard line. And that's the final play of the quarter. Curtis Marsh on the carry. He had the touchdown earlier today for the Aggies. And so after 3 quarters, it's all Oregon here at Austin Stadium, 59-14.
Nice is bigger than it looks. It's about more than manners or wide smiles or good karma. Nice is about respect, connecting, humanness, and understanding that we really are all in this thing together. At Oregon Community Credit Union, we're lucky. We get to choose how we do business, and for over 50 years, we've chosen nice. Remarkably nice.
An NBA All-Star, an Olympic coach, the Summer League MVP, a FIBA World Champion, and a #1 track pick. To get Comcast Sportsnet, contact DirecTV, Dish Network, Charter, or your local cable or satellite provider, or by visiting csnnw.com and clicking on I Want Comcast Sportsnet.
Today's game is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Pepsi, it's the cola. AT&T, your world delivered. And by Oregon Community Credit Union. Nice, remarkably nice.
Welcome back, everyone. 59-14 here at Autzen Stadium, Oregon. Pulling away from the Aggies with 15 minutes to go. And all kinds of crazy stuff happening around college football today. BYU 28, Washington 27. I'll tell you what happened in that game in just a second. You will not believe what just happened. And it might even be the end of Tyrone Willingham. I'm not sure. So this one thrown out to the flat, caught. So Anthony, what happened in that game is that Washington scored. Jake Locker ran and scored, and with 2 seconds to go, and made it 28-27, and they were so excited about his touchdown that the Huskies came all over the field and got a 15-yard penalty for celebrating. So that made the extra point a 35-yard extra point, and so they missed the extra point as the ball was bad snap and blocked, the whole thing, and then BYU went to celebrate. So they missed the extra point partly because of the celebration after getting the touchdown that potentially could tie the game. And I don't know how Tyrone Willingham is going to survive that sort of a loss. I mean, it's bad enough to lose like they did last week, but then to have a game where you're going to go to overtime and then you have a celebration penalty.
Yeah.
Because your kids couldn't control their emotions, you know, on the touchdown.
Well, and that's leadership, you know, and he's the guy that's at the top, and so everybody's going to look to him. I mean, he did a nice job of coming back, you know, getting beat pretty bad by the Ducks, but coming back and competing against BYU. No one thought that he had a chance, but, you know, hey, you know, you have to control your players and their emotions.
We'll have to look further about, you know, whether that celebration call was a little, you know, whether they should have called it or shouldn't have called it, because you got to expect they're going to be a little happy Burrell to the end zone, and it was there, but not caught. He took a big shot, too. That's one thing, is we showed you the new rules a little while ago. Another thing that they've talked about is any sort of excessive celebration in the end zone is an automatic penalty. They're not going to mess around with it this year, and they talked a lot about that. And so maybe that's the kind of thing that might have cost the Huskies a win today.
Well, again, it's a mistake that didn't have to happen. And those are things that are talked about during meetings and during practice during the week.
Aggies are going to try to get a field goal out of this thing. Peter Caldwell on, he kicks it on the way, it's up, and it's good. And so the Aggies to 17 points now, and we'll take a break here at Autzen Stadium. They've matched their total from their loss last week at UNLV, 59-17 with 13-18 to go.
Hi, I'm Tony Romo. I've agreed to have myself doubled in size so that you never forget that new lemon-flavored Pepsi NFL kickoff gives you double Pepsi stuff points.
With double stuff points, you can earn lots of cool stuff twice as fast, like MP3s, electronics, and even chances to win free trips.
Because double really is better. Also available in diet.
For a limited time, get double stuff points when you drink lemon-flavored Pepsi NFL kickoff and earn lots of cool stuff twice as fast.
Find out which ones are the Sweet 16. Don't miss the season premiere of Blazer Dancers, the Sweet 16, Monday, September 8th at 8 p.m.
With bigger fields, deeper end zones, 12 players per side, 3 downs per possession, no fair catches, unlimited motion, and shorter play clocks. A different style of football is here. It's the Canadian Football League. Tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Toronto versus Montreal on Comcast Sportsnet. Game on.
59-17, Anthony, as Oregon is rolling over Utah State in what's turning out to be a very long afternoon here at Autzen Stadium with the kinds of points that are out there. As we mentioned, that Husky game started at the exact same time as Oregon. It's over, and this one still has 13-18 to go.
There's a lot of time left, and we're going to see a lot of young guys get in the game and see if they can show their skills.
Taken deep into the end zone and out of the end zone across the 20 to the 27-yard line, across the 30. Talmadge Jackson III on the return. I believe it's the first time he's carried a ball for the Oregon Ducks. Nice return. Hey, it's Sunday night with Mike Bellotti, 6 o'clock on Comcast Sportsnet. Presented by Weimar. We'll go inside the game. Coach will talk about it. You'll hear lots of stuff in the locker room after the game. And then on Tuesday nights, head on down to the cooler for Tailgate Tuesday. Sunday Night Live and the Coolers Tailgate Tuesday. So here's your plan. Basically, on Sunday night, you got to go to Taylor's. On Tuesday night, you go to the cooler. On Saturday, you come here, right?
Very busy.
The other days, you just sleep. You don't do anything else.
Sounds like fun, though.
That'd be good. Let's win the lottery, and that'd be the schedule. Maybe you put some golf in between. You know, get some golf on the off days.
Exactly right. When do you do the yard work?
Well, you won the lottery, so you just pay somebody to do the yard work.
Gotcha.
Flags are down. Remine not stopping.
Remine's running like someone stole his lunch money. I mean, he's running hard.
Do you think that really ever happened? People stealing the bully steals the lunch money? It's become such a saying.
Offside on the defense. That penalty is declined. Second down.
Yeah, you know that's happened before. Guarantee that's happened before.
I thought it'd be like, hey, I'll trade you the frog I caught yesterday for those 2 marbles and your lunch. Is that the way it works in grade school?
No, there's some bullies out there that say, give me your lunch money. And you can buy me a biscuit.
Second down and a yard here for Harper. They're offsides again. They hand it off to Remine Alston. Remine's dancing around a little bit, and they'll go ahead and take the penalty again, and they'll have the first down and have the ball at the 24-yard line.
You know, Utah State keeps making the same mistake by jumping off sides, and they have to understand at some point, you know, learn the snap count. Be ready to
offsides, defense, 5 yards from the previous spot. Yardage results in a first down.
Be ready to adjust in what you're doing, so you're not going to jump off sides over and over and over again. You can make, I mean, 1 or 2 mistakes, but they've done this about 6 times.
Here's Harper. Alston with nowhere to go and just falls backwards. I'm going to ask the guys in the truck. I know they hate it when I do this, when I spring stuff on them right at the end, but let's get a close-up of one of these Oregon helmets, because I think now that they're out in the sun, fans have only seen these helmets in the bowl game, which was a night game, and the other game against Oregon State last year. And when you look at them, you kind of start to see what they were intended to do. You can see the flames a little bit better, and there you go, a little side view. You can see the flames coming out of them.
There it is right there. See the flame? Yeah.
And so they look a little different when you are able to see them out in the sun. Because Harper picks it up. Nice athletic ability to pick that up. And look at him run to the outside, and he dives out of bounds. That'll come in handy in the 2-minute drill. But Oregon really wanted to find a way to redeem themselves in these yellow helmets. There's a good look at it. You can see the flame that's painted on there. And because they had those 2 games that they did lose in the yellow helmet, and so now everybody can put that myth aside that you don't win if you're wearing the yellow helmet. Well, now they got that win with the yellows.
You know, I like the yellow helmets, but the only thing that I'm a little confused about is where does the flame come from? I mean, I've never seen
the Harley.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
It's the whole Harley thing, I think. But it's subtle enough to where, you know, it looks cool up close.
Yeah, you know, it's hey, you know, these kids are happy to have these helmets. I mean, they didn't ask for it. You know, people are giving them to them. They're going to wear them.
And, you know, these kids, again, with the uniform, they've gained so much attention. But a lot of these kids, you know, they designed them themselves.
Yeah,
Jason
right.
Williams, and when Dante Rosario was here. And then one of the recruiting ploys is that every, you know, few years, the kids get to come in and design new uniforms. So in a couple of years from now,
something new.
We're going to have new uniforms again. They have about 400 different combinations that they can wear when you include shoes, socks, pants, shirt, and helmet. Fair catch called for. Nice punt, and the Aggies will take over on the 39-yard line. We'll take a timeout with 11:10 remaining here at Autzen. 59-17 is our score.
Get fall started with incredible values in your latest coupon book from Bi-Mart. Get Wrestler men's jeans.
10, close to a first down. But again, Anthony, as I was mentioning last night at the auction, I mean, to have a cross-country team that's, you know, favored to win the national championship on the men's side and maybe even the women's side. They were first and second last year. Football team that's going to be in the top 15 probably after this week if there are some upsets. Got a, you know, just an incredible run right now. Volleyball team, as we just saw, you know, the top 15.
Well, you know, Joe, to have good programs, you got to bring high school kids, good high school recruits here to play in this program. And you know, you look at the facilities at Oregon. I mean, it's hard not to come here after you're seeing the training facilities. You know, the football arena, and that, you know, soon the baseball arena. I mean, that's, as you know, as a young man, it's going, hey, I like that atmosphere. I want to play for the Ducks.
Some incredible scores out there today. Penn State rolling. They were up 45-7, now 45-14 in the fourth quarter. Penn State really getting after the Beavers today. One score they just announced here a little while ago, San Diego State, who lost to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo last week, as Burrell runs the option. They lost to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo last week, and they're ahead of Notre Dame this week in the third quarter in South Bend, Indiana. That's why college football's so great.
Well, the question was still out for Notre Dame, and, you know, they didn't play last week, and now, you know, people want to find out, okay, you know, Charlie, have you done a good job with that team? Are they back? I don't think so.
There's a big one right there. West Virginia getting beat by East Carolina 23-3. East Carolina had the win against Virginia Tech And now West Virginia, 23-3. East Carolina making a big statement early on in the season. They're going to be right back in the top 20 now after those 2 wins. Another thing I noticed that South Florida, the team that Oregon destroyed in the Sun Bowl, they're actually ranked ahead of Oregon right now, which seems a little odd.
Well, they said that they have a lot of returning players on that football team. A lot of their key weapons are back.
New uniforms for the Oregon cheerleaders this year, too.
There's what's called the D-boys right there.
4th and a yard on the sneak. And it looks like they're going to give him progress across the 40. And that would be enough for a first down. Ducks have 608 yards of total offense in the game. So 9 minutes left. You wonder whether they'll get it back and be able to get the all-time yardage record, which is 667.
Well, looking at the offense and the defense of the Ducks, and the defense right now, there's a lot of backups in the game that's playing. Eddie Pleasant's playing linebacker. Blair's playing defensive end. Like Willie Glasper's playing, number 17 playing cornerback.
Burrell comes the blitz, he unloads it, and completion is made. Gain of about 5 on the play. Keeps the clock ticking.
So another young one, Marvin Johnson, the backup, number 1. He's a terror on special teams. Now you can usually tell if a guy's going to be a good football player by how he plays special teams. Patrick Chung, when he was a freshman playing special teams, was unreal. He's a great defensive player. Marvin Johnson's the same way.
See a lot of fans headed for the outside. There was a interesting day. We had 60,000 people here again, and there was all kinds of parking as you see the San Diego State score against Notre Dame. Across the way at the Masonic Lodge, for those of you who like to come to games, nice play fake by Burrell and a first down for Utah State. But you know, we've talked so much about parking and it's hard to get in and all that stuff. Well, those of you who like to bring your cars and tailgate, there were plenty of spots today open at the Masonic Lodge, plenty of spots open at the Science Factory in the area. So don't be too, it's great. The public transportation, people taking LTD, that's awesome. Parking on campus, walking across, that's awesome. But if you're one of those folks that likes to gather with the family and tailgate, there's plenty of opportunities to still do that.
Well, I think some people, you know, figure out that the stadium has taken away, baseball stadium's taken away from some of the parking, but you're right, there's still a lot of parking out here. You can find a way to get to the stadium.
With all the reconfiguring, as they roll out, now they go towards the end zone. Willie Glasper's on the coverage, but they take it inside the 10. Nice completion there. But Anthony, when you take all the way that the staff has been changed a little bit and various other people, the whole net loss this year is only about 250.
Yeah.
So, you know, people think it's a lot more than that, but it's just not that many spots from a, you know, donor or fan parking standpoint. Utah State trying to get into the end zone here, trailing 59-17. Throw it to the backfield and down to the 2-yard line.
Well, this is some pride here for the Oregon defense and the backups, because if they want to play at this level and they know their backups, they have to perform right now. I mean, there's a lot of, I think, you know, the last couple of plays, missed coverages. Brandon Blair missed there was a kind of a boot back his way. He went down hard, crashed hard. It got to the outside. So these guys need to perform because the coaches are watching the film. They're going to watch the film and say, hey, can you start for us one day?
Trying to get towards the end zone, maybe coming up just a little bit short is Marquise Butler. It's going to be 3rd and less than a yard. Crowd does not want to allow another touchdown. Butler's the tailback. Little play action fake. Could have run it in, and he decides to throw it, and it's a touchdown anyway. Otis Nelson with the touchdown.
It's a nice play action fake. I mean, going against other teams when you're in the ball game, this is a nice play. It's a very nice play. And he had the option to throw the football or run the football. Now, it was smart to throw that easy touchdown pass.
Caldwell on for the extra point, and his kick is up, and it's good. 59-24 here at Autzen as the afternoon wears on a sunny September afternoon in Eugene. Back with more after this.
What do you think I should pay for my deductible? Do you think like $250, $500? Hi, what do you think? $500, $250? Collision? Comprehensive? I don't even know what it means. Do you even know what that means?
Number 39.
Is a $1,000 deductible too high?
Number 40.
Hi. Maybe you can help me.
You know that place where lots of questions meets nobody seems to know?
I'm so there.
You like answers? Get advice and savings from a State Farm agent. Call, click, or visit and switch.
I asked my State Farm agent.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Brakes. The most important system in your car. If you're experiencing symptoms of worn brakes, noise or grinding, pulsation, brake grab, or if your brake pedal needs excessive pressure, come into Les Schwab for a free brake inspection. If your brakes need service, we do it right, we do it complete. Repairing, resurfacing, replacing, and adjusting. All backed by our full parts and labor guarantee. Les Schwab Brake Service. If we can't guarantee it, we won't sell it.
An NBA All-Star, an Olympic coach, the Summer League MVP, a FIBA World Champion, and a #1 track pick. To get Comcast Sportsnet, contact DirecTV, Dish Network, Charter, or your local cable or satellite provider, or by visiting csnnw.com and clicking on I Want Comcast Sportsnet.
Welcome back, everyone. 59-24 is our score here at Autzen Stadium. Beautiful day here in Eugene as you look. This is our view from the top of the stadium as you look all the way to the Three Sisters. You see the glaciers there up at Three Sisters. It actually snowed up there early in the week to 5,000 feet for a day. So the weather will be coming soon enough, but boy, we can almost see the beach and the mountains from here as high as we are at Autzen. Kickoff goes through the end zone.
That wind is still kicking up.
Yeah, our new stats person here, Christina Early, is having a hard time keeping all the papers intact. They're flying all over the place. She's supposed to hand us the stats, not let them fly at us, right? Carl's Jr. scoring drive, the $6 burger scoring drive, 11 plays, 61 yards, 533. And the 1-yard touchdown catch. And Masoli coming in now at quarterback as he hands the ball off. See if they can put together a 5-minute and 30-second drive here, Anthony.
Well, and that's running the football, and see if they can, keep the clock going by running the ball, pounding the ball, picking up first downs.
Of course, the big question here that we need to make sure to talk about is Jeremiah Johnson they run it again. Remine Alston, a nice little explosion through the hole. But Jeremiah Johnson went out on the very first run of the game with some shoulder problem. We don't know what the shoulder is yet. There he is. We don't know if it's a dislocation or a strained shoulder or, shoulders like shrimp. Like you do 1,000 things with it, right? You can have a strained shoulder. You can have a pulled shoulder. You can have a cartilage. You can have ligament. You can have dislocation. So not sure what it is, Anthony.
It's a nice run by Remine. The explosion that he has. He's fresh. But, with Jeremiah Johnson, again, anytime you have a running back and you see an injury to his upper body, then you're going to say that's a good thing because he can play. His legs are what he lives on. He lives on the legs, and the legs are not injured. So if he has a shoulder or something like that, get him healthy, get him back playing again.
It didn't look like the kind of thing that would be a bruised shoulder because of the way he went down, almost like a jam. You might have thought it was a dislocation or a little strain there as it's thrown to the outside. catch is made. Mike Mackey with the catch, and Oregon's closing in on that yardage record right now. Checking the board to make sure it gets updated, but it looks like there's 6:36 right now, so if they score, they would pass the number. Masoli throws it to the outside. And now it gets updated. That total offense number is 657. So they're 10 yards away from their all-time, in the history of Oregon football, most offensive yardage production.
This is a nice drive by Jeremiah, controlling this offense, mixing up with the run and pass.
Crenshaw trying to get the corner. Crenshaw 20, 15, 10. Crenshaw out of bounds at the, they're going to mark it at the 12-yard line. And you've just witnessed the most yards in any Oregon football game ever by the Oregon offense. That's not good for the media services guys, because that means they got to go back and rewrite the media guide next year.
A lot of work, huh?
There's the new record, 676. Hands the ball off. Remine Alston inside the 5-yard line. Remine all the way towards the goal line. They mark him down. No,
one
touchdown. The official on the near side says touchdown for Remine Alston. They may review it, but one referee said it was a touchdown.
Well, Remine has some, no doubt, explosion with those legs. He hits that hole so fast. I love the spin move after contact. Running backs, young running backs, you have to understand, you don't spin before the contact. You hit first, then have contact. Nice job.
He laid it out across the line. They're going to look at it. The thing is, these are so difficult because I guess you mark it where the ball is when your knee hits. And the ball is moving at such a faster, the ball's going from your waist to reaching out when the knee hits. So it's pretty tough to tell exactly where the ball was. So they're going to look at it. We'll look at it again here too and see if we can't maybe try to freeze it.
Well, look like
he freeze it right when his knee goes down, right there.
The spin move. And I don't think is the ball over?
Ball's got to get to the front of the white line. That's the tip of the ball to the front of the white line. Just got to break the plane of the goal line. So, and that shot was taken from, it looked like about the 5-yard line, so you're not getting the direct look. So that would favor the thought that he was in. So we'll see. You'd love to have Remine get that touchdown because he's looked so good.
He looks very good.
Here's the call.
After review, it's been determined that the runner was down at the 1-foot line. Therefore, the ball we put at the 1-foot line, first down.
I don't know. When you go back and review the review,
well, it's happened. But one thing, number 5 is going to touch the ball. He's going to get his touchdown.
It's been a good drive led by Jeremiah Masoli with 3:20 left on the board. Ducks trying to break the 60-point mark. Here's Remine with it, and this time he is in the end zone. No questions asked on that one. So all it did is take off a few extra seconds and let the crowd cheer again.
Well, I like the way Austin is running the football. Remine just using his speed, his power, showing that, you know, he's another running back to look at. That's 4 deep now.
Matt Evenson on for the extra point. I'm still waiting for your answer, Anthony. How many times has Matt Evenson kicked the ball today? As the extra point is up and good. 66-24.
I need some help from the truck. I need some help from the truck.
It's hard to think and do math while you're talking, I can tell you that. 66-24, a whitewash here today at Autzen Stadium. With 3:12 to go. Let's talk a little bit about, as the Duck is doing his 365th push-up, 365 push-ups right there. around the conference, Oregon State, not a good performance today against Penn State. I really thought they were going to perform and run a little bit better against Penn State, but it sounds like they were never in the game, Anthony.
Well, Penn State, they came out and were trying to find out if they ran the football or they threw the football, and they did both. And so they kept Oregon State's defense, you know, off balance. But, you know, at the same time, Oregon State's offense didn't do anything. I mean, I thought they were going to at least compete for a while, and at one point the game was 35-7, you know, I believe in the second quarter. So they were out of it from the start. You know, it's going to be an uphill battle for Oregon State, but, you know, they always come back. They always do.
For Oregon today, 7 different players have scored touchdowns. Blunt, Crenshaw, Remine Alston, Terrence Scott, Roper, Harper, and Rory Cavalier.
Spreading the love right there.
Yeah.
Spreading the love.
I don't know. They might have to go down to the sporting goods store for the game balls. They might not have enough. Don't you get a game ball if you score a touchdown?
You know what? That's 5 offensive linemen.
Yeah, just give out 5. That's right.
Yeah, just the buying time for the quarterback to throw the football, opening up holes for the running backs.
This one comes right down into the corner. It actually hit the player and then went out of bounds. It should be the ball at the 2-yard line for Utah State, and that's where the official marks it. You know, it wouldn't have touched him. I think it probably would have gone out of bounds. It would have had it at the 40.
It was going out of bounds. It was going out of bounds, and like Curtis Marsh went over there, going to field the ball, and at kind of a funny bounce. You know, the ball's not round. Not going to bounce straight up in the air.
It might have bounced in the end zone, too. It's hard to tell, but whatever. They're going to have the ball at the 2-yard line. Well, Setzer comes back in now. Sean Setzer from Wilson High School to clean it up here with 3:10 to go. And the Duck defense trying to put 2 on the board. They'll hand the ball off and hit in the backfield and just getting out of the end zone barely is Derek Cumby.
Right now, Utah State's just trying to get out of here healthy. 66-24 with 2:50 left in the game. So let's run the football, run the clock out, and let's get home.
These Oregon fans are relentless, aren't they?
Yeah.
Setzer to throw, throws it, complete, and a first down for Utah State. Boy, how Washington lost that game today is just unbelievable. You know, I can't, not to, you know, you don't want to make light of it, but you almost can't wait to read what people are, you know, going to write tomorrow about that loss. You score a touchdown with 2 seconds to go to make it 28-27, and then, you know, you have a chance now with the momentum to go for 2. Maybe you win the game right there.
Right.
Instead, you get a penalty, and, you know, so they decide to go for the overtime. You get a penalty because you celebrate too much, and then you botch the extra point.
Well, the only thing about this, who knows if they would have went to overtime if they would have won.
Yeah, that's right. You don't know. That's right.
You don't know. But, you know, they didn't get a chance to play in overtime.
Oh, there's a big hit on an incompletion. Terrence Pritchett. Some of the new guys that we have only seen in the recruiting blogs and shows are now starting to get into the game.
Very active linebacker, and right here he was waiting on something like that. He's going to be looking at that over and over during the Sunday film session with a big smile on his face. That's laying the wood right there.
Notre Dame is now taking the lead over San Diego State 14-13. That game's in the 4th. Aggies just trying to get the first down. I think they do. And that'll keep the clock a-rolling. It's at 1:49 right now. Well, Anthony, we don't have all that much time. We do have a post-game show coming up on Comcast Sportsnet. Those of you watching on Fox TV KLSR, thank you so much for watching today. And we'll go to the post-game show on Comcast Sportsnet. And we'll get a chance to talk about next week, too. And that's a big trip to Purdue, where the Pac-10 takes on the Big Ten. And Purdue's a good team, Anthony. They have their entire offense back from last year, and they run a spread, and Joe Tiller knows how to coach offense, and should be a pretty exciting game with these two offenses.
It should. And I'm not sure if Purdue is used to facing the spread offense with the speed that the Oregon Ducks have on offense and all the weapons. But again, it's going back to Purdue, tough football game. They've played in tough football games back there, and so it should be a battle.
On the road, you've really got, none of these quarterbacks, even though you think they'll be able to handle it, but Roper played limited snaps at the game at UCLA last year, and this will be a little different. I mean, those Purdue fans are fired up, and they'll be loud, and so you've got 3 young quarterbacks going on the road really for the first time. Like I mentioned, Roper went to UCLA, but, Brady Lee started that game. Cody Kemp played a lot, and they snapped half of them, it seemed like, to Andre Crenshaw straight. So that was just Oregon trying to figure out what to do after the loss of Dennis Dixon. But so this is a big test for this football team next week, and boy,
5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Really,
timer, please put 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock.
And it really, we'll pretend for Oregon's success this season. Last time they scored more than 65 was when they beat Willamette 97-0 in 1916. That was a few years ago. But Anthony, you talk about that game at Purdue. I mean, how it sets it up. If you get that win at Purdue, you come home to take on Boise State. Then you're on the road at Washington State, which looks to be a very winnable game right now with where Washington State is. And then on the road at USC.
Yeah.
And boy, if you look at that schedule, I mean, you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but Oregon's going to be favored in every game they play up to when they play USC. And if they could get to 5-0, then that Oregon at USC game becomes the biggest game in the nation on that day.
It does.
And that's the kind of stage that you want to be on.
But I think the biggest stage they have to face is going back to Purdue. This is a new place for a lot of the kids. They haven't been back there in this environment before. We'll probably see Justin Roper play the whole game. I mean, he's gonna play the whole game, and the starters will be playing the whole game. This is not like a preseason. I mean, preseason's over with. This Utah State game. It's time to race to the roses. So, but Roper had a good showing today.
They're going to have that steam engine fired up out there in East Lafayette, and it should be pretty fun. Coach Blotty will have his guys ready to go. A week from today in Indiana against the Purdue Boilermakers. Aaron Pflugrad takes the punt, trying to look for some room. He had some room, and he just couldn't get away from the last guy. And that's the final play of the game. Final score, the Oregon Ducks 66, Utah State 24, as the Ducks move to 2-0 on the young season with a big one coming up next week at Purdue. We'll take a break and be back to wrap it up after this.
Gentlemen, I have your burgers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Awesome. Very good. I'm just going to annihilate this napkin.
The restaurant burger these financial wizards are paying for is actually a $6 burger for about $4.
I just spent $14 on a $6 Carl's Jr. burger.
Yeah! $30,000. Do I hear 40? $40,000. Do I hear 50? 50,000. I have 50,000. Going once, twice. Sold to the gentleman in the center.
Hi.
Moving on. This is a nice.
Feels like I'm on top of the world right about now. I love it.
So you guys clearly overmatched Utah State today. I mean, how early along did you know what was going to happen? And of course, we got some fans down there as well. Maybe if we get the camera closer to LeGarrette, they'll understand we're doing an interview. There we go. All right, now we're good. Hey, LeGarrette, with when you came out, you knew physically you probably had it over Utah State early. Talk about just coming out and making sure you stayed sharp and focused, even though you had a big advantage.
I basically just stayed by Coach Campbell the whole time, listened to the calls, made sure I was there when he needed me, kept my legs warm, just got on the bike a couple times and stayed warm and stayed ready to play just in case he called my name.
So you're down there on the sidelines. What do you know about Jeremiah Johnson's injury? And you guys make such a good 1-2 punch. It'd be great to have him available. What do you know now?
He'll be back probably tomorrow or Monday, but as far as his injury, I think it's just a minor shoulder dislocation. It's nothing major. He can move it around. He can still, he got a lot of movement in it, so he's fine. I think he'll be good for next week.
Well, you certainly had an outstanding day with 2 touchdowns, a lot of fun to watch you from all the way up here, LeGarrette. Congratulations. Welcome to Oregon, and another victory for the Ducks today. Thanks so much for your time.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right. Thanks to LeGarrette Blount and to all of you for watching here today. Oregon is the victor, 66-24. The post-game show on Comcast Sportsnet comes up after this. This has been a presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
Whoever said guys don't like shopping hasn't been to the Dodge Truck Shop Till You Drive clearance event. We're taking up to 40% off MSRP on the 08 Ram 1500. Or get 0% financing for 72 months plus $4,000 bonus cash on Ram 1500 Quad Cab. With a huge selection and great deals, you'll be like a kid in a candy store. Get the truck you want before someone else does at the Dodge Shop Till You Drive clearance event today. These offers won't last. Get to it.
We built our fiber optic network years ago. It's allowed us to pioneer innovative services like true broadband high-speed internet, now with Power Boost. 100% digital cable with on-demand. Watch anytime at the touch of a button. And Comcast Digital Voice, the first real choice in home phone service. Our services are backed by 1,800 local technicians and service professionals. And satisfaction is guaranteed. Call 1-800-COMCAST today and get started with all 3 services for just $33 each per month.
An NBA All-Star, an Olympic coach, the Summer League MVP, a FIBA World Champion, and a #1 draft pick. To get Comcast Sportsnet, contact DirecTV.
5-14, and when true freshman Chris Harper stepped into the end zone, Oregon had gone over 300 yards rushing on the day, and we were only midway through the third. Yes, it was a long day for the Aggies, but a very productive one for the Ducks, who pound Utah State 66-24.
Our mentality was, we don't care who we play. We're going to, offense, we're going to score every time we get the ball. Defense is not going to let up anything, and that's just how we stayed the whole game.
I love the fact that our running backs did our part and our offensive line did not slack up, not one bit. It's great. I love it.
What Duck fans didn't love was seeing their starting tailback Jeremiah Johnson leave after his first touch of the day. It ended up being his last one, too. He separated his shoulder, but the staff here says he will be ready to go next Saturday when the Ducks visit Purdue. Covering the Ducks in Eugene, Adam Bjornson, KGW, News Channel 8.
Thanks, Adam. Nice job. So if you did the math and you know the SummerSlam at the Rose Garden, he's partnered with Oregon's Mentors to raise awareness of the need for more mentors around the state. The day was filled with fun and games, and even Greg tried his hand at karaoke.
There is a problem that some of these kids need mentors in their life, and it's just a fun day for the kids to come out and just enjoy.
I like Greg.
Best story of the day.
He's got style.
He does have style. Love that, Joe. Thank you.
Okay.
One bird has a big mouth. Next, the phrase this cockatoo uttered that got the attention of police.
Tough Shed, a million uses. One of them tough enough to protect whatever's valuable to you.
Dinner's on in 10 minutes. Wrap it up.
Through September 30th, save 50% on new shed upgrades or up to $2,000 on garages. Tough Shed storage buildings and garages, coast to coast. For a free building quote or to find a store nearest you, call 1-800-BUY-TOUGH or visit toughshed.com.
For many men, an interview suit is a first step toward a second chance. Donate your gently used professional clothing during the Men's Warehouse National Suit Drive and receive a 10% discount toward your next purchase. I guarantee it.
Friday night lights, scores and highlights.
With me and me in stunning HD.
On to Channel 8.
Watch for Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino's forecast in tomorrow's Oregonian. Most watched, most honored. KGW News, Channel 8, when the news comes first.
They call it free trade.
Problem is, there's nothing free about it. And Oregon's paid a very heavy price, with nearly 70,000 jobs shipped overseas. Families with no savings, no health care, and no security. How could Washington allow American jobs to become one of our country's biggest exports? I'm Jeff Merkley, and I approve this message because Washington is just broken, and it's time to set things right.
Now's your chance to take control with hsgametime.com, the site that's changing the face of high school sports. Your team didn't get enough coverage? Your kid didn't get their picture in the paper? You don't know enough about next week's opponent? You have the power to change all that with hsgametime.com. Create a page for your school.
Sure, it was a game that probably does help you continue to build confidence. Ken needs a block, got it, 5, touchdown, Chris Harper.
I think we did a pretty good job, another stepping stone. It is, they aren't exactly the, greatest. I think they're one of the worst, but, it doesn't matter. It was just a game that we had to win, and it was on our schedule, so we played it.
The Ducks pounded the ground for 408 yards rushing. LeGarrette Blount had 132 of them, led a group of 7 Ducks that ran for at least 25 yards.
I love the fact that our running backs did our part and our offensive line did not slack up, not one bit. It's great. I love it.
Blount was forced into action early as starting tailback Jeremiah Johnson left after a horse collar tackle on his first carry of the game. Johnson ended up with a separated shoulder and was done for the day. The good news, he probably won't miss a game. Blount carried the load and was downright giddy after the first score of his Oregon career.
It's coming, handed off. Oh, Blount gets free. He's at the 20. From there to beat 10, the 5. He will score, LeGarrette Blount.
I've been itching for that touchdown for a long time, and I finally got it, and it feels great. It's awesome. I've never felt anything like it before.
First of many to come?
Yes, sir. I'm trying my best to get a lot more as the season goes on. Right now, I'm on cloud 9.
Aside from their first possession, Justin Roper led the Ducks to touchdowns on their next 5 straight drives.
And he'll stroll into the end zone, Justin Roper.
Our mentality was, we don't care who we play. We're going to, offense, we're going to score every time we get the ball. Defense is not going to let up anything, and that's just how we stayed the whole game.
Oregon got to see their depth on both sides of the ball. Coach Bellotti said it wasn't a perfect game, but one of the leaders on his defense certainly likes what he has seen through 2 games.
We want to continue to kind of build upon that philosophy that, in that red zone, the kind that we started last year, being that team that in that red zone, we're tough. And, we want to build on a couple different things. Our work ethic is so, so much better than it's ever been.
And by the way, Oregon's 688 yards of total offense yesterday was a new school record. Oregon hits the road next Saturday when they visit Purdue. The Boilermakers, by the way, a 42-10 win over Northern Colorado yesterday. Well, USC had the weekend off, but they are still #1 in the latest AP poll that was